All right, all the fucking clowns and monkeys are here. We've got everyone from Countdown involved. There's what 9 of us in chat now, and I'm sure more will join later. But guys, I wanted to obviously keep talking about the server that we've been playing this past week, being Project Epoch. It's been a wild ride. There's been ups, there's been downs, and everything in between. I'm still having an absolute blast. We're going to talk about some of the fun stories from the past week. What's been happening with the guild? What's been happening with the merger? Things that people have noticed that it's a very buggy server, guys. We knew this going in. They said, "Do you want us to release this thing early with bugs, or do you want us to hold it and stamp them out?" And everyone said, "Get it out there early. We fucking need it now." So they said, "All right, bet," and they did it. And people are discovering that there's a lot of bugs, but they are being worked on as we go on. But we'll still talk about some of the funnier ones and more annoying ones that need to be worked out pretty quickly. But also, we'll just talk about the guild and how it's coming along, and what we're all doing and what we're all looking forward to doing. So let's say g'day to everyone. These are all the voices and faces of what is turning out to be one of the bigger guilds on the server, and we're just blown away by the growth, aren't we, Ubiquitous?
Yeah, there's lots of people coming out of the woodwork, and it's fucking horrifying to know that this many people have heard my dribble.
that's the biggest thing to take away from it. Oh my god, all these people actually fucking do put up with what I say. Voodoo,
Yeah.
mate, have you made the same discovery? Holy shit, all these people actually deal with Josh?
It's been a great turnout. I was even surprised. I've had to put up with Ubi every day, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I know. You guys have become. I love the. I am loving the perfect strangers-esque bond that is forming between you two. It's been worth its weight in comedic gold, and we'll get to that soon. Let's just quickly say good day to everyone. Crude F, mate, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Very good, Vestige. Thanks for coming back.
Hey, thanks for having me back on.
Gigantor,
Pleasure to be here.
Marcus, my dingaling.
Hello, how's it going? Good to be back as always.
Absolutely. And we've got Auntie. Hello, mate.
Hey, mate, I won't go AFK this time if you try and say some nice words about me, I promise.
Very good. And I'm not sure if they're talking, but we've also got Axtel and Lumen here. Hey, guys, how are you? They're staying on mute. That's all right. You guys sit in the corner in the dark and enjoy us talking here. Your mic is buggered, Lumen. That's all right. That's all right. All right, guys, look, let's get started. I mentioned the guild, and it really has been such a pleasant surprise to see. Yeah, and look, I'm not going to lie, it's even grabbed me by surprise. And I know it doesn't sound like it's big for a WoW guild, but it doesn't sound like a lot of people in the grand scheme of things, because you go like, oh, what's the guild at now? Like, I don't know, like 185 people or something. Okay, cool. And you kind of go, oh, Josh, like I thought you're a big content creator, man. Like 185 people, that's fucking nothing. But the growth and the engagement has been really cool to see. And I'm stoked with that number on a private server. Like we keep saying, that private server barrier that no doubt is still keeping half of you listening to this show right now away, going, guys, I'd love to be there with you, but it's a private server, and that's a threshold I refuse to cross. Perfectly fine. But seeing it to where it's at has been genuinely surprising, but also the caliber of people that we're getting. I was so touched the other day where I can't remember if it was you, Vestige, or someone else in voice chat when we were hanging out, and we've been hanging out every day for hours and everyone's having a blast in voice chat in the Discord. But someone said, Josh, I'm really like surprised at how every random who joins the guild and who jumps in voice chat is just a nice, normal person. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of been a feature of Countdown for many, many years now. We're very lucky in that regard, in that the Countdown crowd is fucking amazing. They're super cool people. They're not like we've had a no fuckwit policy that I'm very stringent on for years now. And it's great to see people sort of noticing it and reaping those benefits. Somehow Voodoo slipped through the cracks, but that's okay.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, anytime, mate. Yubi, have you met some good people?
Yeah, everyone's been lovely, and the Discord's busy every day. That's nice, because I'm a come home from work and just shoot the shit with everyone on chat. So
Oh,
I think we've
mate.
been getting like 8-10 people in here every afternoon, and I see when I'm at work, all the Europeans, all the Americans are in here during the day. So
That Epoch channel, the text channel in the Discord, is just fucking going bananas, isn't it?
yeah, that's the hype's fun. It's always it's always that fresh vibes, but I guess the plus the new stuff, it's just spinning itself up.
Okay. Let me say, here's a general question to get everyone started. I guess first and foremost, we should talk about the merge, and then we'll talk about a few things after that, and we'll get to some of the fluffier stuff later on. Guys, there was a big merge this week. As you all heard last week, we all said that we were playing on Menethil, which was the smaller of the two PvE servers on offer. And we did that for a reason. We sort of said, all right, they've said they're going to merge when the need arises. And due to that, we are more than happy being on the smaller server, a little bit cozier, a little bit of a smoother leveling process, and we'll, get chucked into the mega server when the time is appropriate. Well, the devs decided that the time was appropriate yesterday, and the merge went through, which is far sooner than anyone anticipated. But in saying that, whilst it was sooner than anticipated timeline-wise, I think we probably, in my opinion, it was actually the right time, which is going to be a little bit of a controversial opinion for many of you coming from Menethil. I know already a few people in the guild, don't get me wrong, justifiably so, have said this server merge happened way too early. This is way too soon. What the fuck were they thinking? Like, now it's so much of a different experience leveling, fighting for mobs. It's a true mega server now. Tagging's an issue. We're all clumped up together again. It's a little bit weird, and it's a very different feeling from what Menethil was the past 2 weeks. And I get that. My reasoning behind why this was the right time, in spite of all that, and we'll get to all of that soon, is that if you actually looked at the numbers of what was happening on Menethil, it was going down by quite a bit, almost by the day. And I think by the time they decided to merge, we were getting about 1,500 people online in peak. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of you will get upset hearing that, going, Josh, that's fine. 1,500 online in peak, that's fucking perfect. Wow, that's exactly where you want your population. And you're not wrong to think that. It's lower on the side of where you want to be perhaps 10 days after launch for a new big server, but it's still incredibly cozy. Everything runs great at that, 3,000 players total, 1,500 online during peak or whatever. Great. However, that number, who knows if it was going to continue to go down? We don't know if people just started to leap off to go to Kazan anyway. But, I just think it was the right time because people would have started quitting. People would have been like, there's nobody on this server. I'm either rolling Kazan or I'm just quitting Epoch altogether. And you don't want to create a situation where one server has a drastically different experience to the other, sheerly by virtue of numbers. So in the trend that the numbers were taking, I understand why the devs did it. Would I have wanted more time? Sure. I would have loved another month. Leave Menethil as it is. Do I particularly care that they merged now? No, I'll get over it. I understand. Life's a little bit harder leveling, but I'm mostly shoulder shrugging over it. Yubi, let me throw it to you and get us kick-started. Was the merge done at the right time or not?
I think it was. I'm a weirdo that tracks server numbers as I'm playing all the time, and I'd seen that it had gone down about 50% of the population just when I was on, but as Dutch posted in the updates channel, that was expected on their behalf because it was the spillover server, so probably more touristy players. And there's probably people that were like, the numbers were going down because they were moving to Kazan already, so and they probably had the metrics of that. They could see that there was a stream of players going, it's a bit too small. And something I haven't seen brought up is I don't want to bash them this early, but I think this is a lot better than what we were getting every other time. Usually we're begging for a merge because the merge got left so late on the official servers that it's absolute dire stations and you're waiting for it. I'd rather it be early. This is way better than the opposite option. So I think it was the right time. I mean, yeah, 1,500 players on a global server actually isn't that good. If it was 1,500 players in your region playing together, it would probably not feel as bad, but we were already not able to form groups yesterday before the merge. Well, sorry, the day before. Like you couldn't find a group to go kill the Elite Raptor and Stranglethorn and stuff like that. So I think it was the right time.
And I'll say this much, I'll throw it to you, maybe Voodoo, and just say, look, a lot of people would hear this and go like, oh, Epoch's dying. Fucking one of the PvE servers already lost thousands of players. They've had to merge. Here's the death spiral. But I would say to that this is literally every private server that's ever existed and I've played on ones in the last 2, 3, 4 years that almost like clockwork, you can cut that day one number in half 2 weeks later, and that's just generally how things smooth out over time. Has, post merge, let's say now your last 24 hours on Kazan, Voodoo, has the server felt dead?
No,
not
at all.
There's people
it's actually
everywhere.
been really good to level. There's been people everywhere for us. It's you're able to group with people to do quests. I haven't had any issue with it.
Yeah, so there's now about I think it's 8,500 to 9,000 people online in peak time on Kazan, which probably means there's around, I don't know, 18 to 20k players in total. Who knows? I generally just double it for if you go who's online right now and how many would be the total. It's an arbitrary figure I pull out of my ass and means nothing, but that's just kind of how I do my own headcanon. But having said that, Voodoo, I'll just say quickly, were you okay with the merge happening when it did or not?
Yeah, I thought it was a great time.
Okay.
Because as Ubi said before, we struggled to get players even just for dungeons. We tried 3 or 4 times and couldn't get people.
And now since you've merged to Kazan, how's the dungeon finding process?
What we've done 2 since, and it's been
we formed the group up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, within 5 minutes to have people.
Okay. In saying that, not everyone's on board with the timing of the merge. Vestige, if it's okay if I throw it to you, I think you were one of a few people in the Discord, and Marcus as well, who would have loved just a little bit more time before the merge and felt they jumped the gun a little bit. Is that right?
Not necessarily. I do agree that the merge happened at the right time, because I do agree with Ubi that you need to do it proactively, not reactively. But my main concern was more that I wish in the beginning more population was pushed off of Kazan into Menethol, so we had 2 medium pop servers. I thought that would have been better, but that obviously didn't happen. Kazan became the mega server, which is fine. But as it stands right now, it does feel like the pop is pretty high, and the respawn rates are not enough. I was even in, a 5-man group trying to tag as much as we could. We just could not quest in STV last night. Hopefully that improves. I'm expecting it to improve. I think they pushed some updates out today about that. I will say that the actual action of the server merge was perfectly done. I mean, it was so smooth, and I had a name on both servers, and they gave me my same name. I didn't have to even rename. I just gave me the name automatically, and I was able to log in and continue like nothing had ever happened. If you didn't know it was happening, you may not even know a merger happened.
Exactly. We were all a bit scared. We were in that boat with you, going like, oh, I mean, server mergers are dicey at the best of times, even when Blizzard's doing it, let alone a private server crew doing a server merge. We were all dreaming of the horrible things that could go wrong. Is our guild going to get deleted? Are we somehow going to lose our names even though we've got the names on both servers? Is just something going to, slip through the cracks? Our fucking character's going to get deleted? What's going to happen here? And it was absolutely seamless. It was crazy how well they pulled it off. I will say that I'm 100% with you, Vestige, in terms of I do feel like there was a look. They might have done it by design, and in that case, I'd look. Maybe they're thinking in 4D chess that I can't see, but like we were all scratching our heads on day one, going like, why did they kind of let Kazan get up to that and wind up in a situation where you've got two servers, but it's 75-25, and then the 25 that are left on the smaller server are sort of looking at the bigger server, and half of those people are mega server, floozies who go, oh, well, I want to be on the mega server. And so half of them ended up leaving for Menethil in the early days anyway, just to be part of the bigger crowd. It was very odd going like, when you could just split the populations, why not do that and then merge, as opposed to really creating one server that was probably going to be a bit more appealing to most people anyway. It was strange. I'm with you. Marcus, mate, I'm sure Vestige has said a lot of things there that you probably agree with. Where do you lie on this one?
I think I understand the timing. I think to achieve what they were setting out to achieve, it was correct. I'm just, mega servers have never really been my cup of tea. Don't get me wrong. I've done the grind from 1 to 60 on large servers. It's a bit of fun. It's nice to experience it once, but I don't really need to experience it twice. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I would have preferred to just plod along happily on the other server. Again, understand I am a minority.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a spectacle. And I'm not really trying to convince anyone on it. Just, airing my opinion.
How dare you? Anti. Sorry, not anti. Fuck you. Crew def. Mate, I'm sure you would have been like me and absolutely sitting there on the edge of your seat with bated breath, thinking of all the horrible things that could have gone wrong in that merger. Were you shocked by how seamless it was?
Oh yeah, I was particularly worried about mail and auctions, and I pulled everything down because I thought there's no way this is going to happen smoothly, but it was great. So credit to the team that does that at Ascension.
There you go. Auntie, round us out on this one. What are your thoughts? Did they nail it? Was it the right time? Too soon, too early, or just right?
Well, I'm on the other side of the fence here. So I was on Kazan. I came to play with you guys, and I didn't want to play because I was just like, my friends are already on this server, my colleagues on this server. So I was like, shit, I don't get to play with you guys. This kind of sucks.
I conned you into re-rolling on Menethil with us.
And I got to like level 12. I was playing a Warlock. I hated it. And then I was like, I missed my Shaman. My Shaman's already level 20. And I was like, I don't want to do it again. Like, that's a pain in the ass. And so I left, and I was just not going to play with you guys at all. And then suddenly they were like, server merge. And I was like, yes! So I was happy with this merge because I now get to hang out with you guys again.
Aw,
and
sweetheart.
I'm 99% sure that I saw a post on Reddit that was from one of the devs that said that the reason there were two servers was simply because they were worried that the server would not be able to handle the numbers that they were going to get. And then they were just like, actually, it probably worked just fine. And that's why they merged them back together. Well, and I'm sure in the background there's probably someone at Ascension who's hosting this kind of going, this is costing a lot of money, right? We could just do one.
Well, I think if anything, all of this launch and now server merge business has sort of come to prove one thing. And, Epoch haters or private server haters in general will love hearing this. But, the 30, 40, 50, 60,000 figures that we were throwing around in last week's episode and the week before, because we were going by literally 60,000 people joined the Epoch Discord. And while we said on the podcast, look, there's not going to be 60,000 people in-game. We know that. Half these people might be bots in Discord, but there's still like a fuck ton of people playing. Oh my God, 30,000 people did log on day one. But things settle. People are tourists, people quit for one reason or another, and things settle. And now we're at the stage where, like I said, we might have lost 40 to 50% of that number. I'll throw this one out to the crowd first in best dressed. The number that we've settled at now, do you feel like that's still a huge win for what Epoch is trying to do? Or is it, something for, I don't know, the TWOW or private server, the TWOW enjoyers or the private server haters to celebrate and be like, this'll all be dead in a few weeks, you fucking idiots?
I don't think it'll die. Obviously, the tourists will go away, then that's fair, or the fresh experience chasers. But I think it's healthy enough that it'll be sustained, especially as they continue to add content, and there'll be a reason to come at any time.
I agree. I'm just saying this for fucking conversation's sake. I think the server is absolutely, to use the meme, thriving, and fucking mate, I'm having the best time, and there's people everywhere. And if you could get fucking 20,000 people on my server, then I'd take that any day of the week. But yeah, it's interesting every time to watch a private server just get sliced in half after a couple of weeks. It every time like clockwork. But anyway, guys,
I'm concerned more that it might be thriving too much. I mean, we have new quests, new things to do. I want those to be seen in the way the developers want us to encounter them. They want us to do quests in certain ways. The server needs to have a certain population for the content to be seen. I don't want there to be too many people that things get broken and we can't kind of experience it in the way that was intended, I guess is the best way to see it.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue into the point that you mentioned, Vestige, that follows up from something like a server merge, where now, okay, we're all in the same place, and now we're all a larger crowd in the same leveling zones, trying to quest together and competing for quest mobs or whatnot, or, grouping up but now competing against different groups or whatever it might be. And a very, very justified note from everyone of complaint has been the respawn timing, which is 100% a thing I have experienced and many of you have experienced. I wouldn't say it's something that, like, the merger has been up now for 24 hours. We have had one day to experience this. All of us coming from Menethil to Kazan. Yes, it's been a different experience, but we're 24 hours in. I spent all of yesterday in Desolus, and I mentioned in the Discord, I've barely noticed a difference from Menethil to Kazan at this point, albeit due to my zone of choice right now. And I understand that. I'm not sitting in STV, but that's also that's not by luck, that's by design. I know that STV is always a busy zone regardless of whatever fucking WoW server you are playing. And I understand when people say, I've got to go to STV, but my one thing is this server does have a shitload more quests, new quests, like you say, Vestige. There's new content out there to be explored. However, I worry that players are not able to push themselves off script. And the players that are going off-piste a little bit are being rewarded with the new content. I hate to do it, but the smelling the roses is paying off. I've done 2.5 levels in Desolus alone, and I'm not even fucking done. And I just see everyone going, oh my god, STV, this is a nightmare. I mean, I was in STV, 4 days ago. I can't really comment on it because I did my, I went there at level 32. I did my introductory quest at STV, and then I got the fuck out of there, and I sort of go, I'll come back later on closer to 40. But the respawn thing is real. I was even in Desolus. I did one of the quests where you need to kill, I believe it's Naga oracles for an orb that they drop. And there's only 5 of these mobs in a very large area, off to the island in the northwest. There's literally 5. It's not a situation where if you kill enough mobs, they share a respawn with another kind of mob, so it's 50-50 chance, kill them all so that you eventually force the respawns of the ones you need. It's not that kind of quest. It's literally just there are 5 locations where the oracles spawn, and they don't spawn particularly quickly, and it's not a 100% drop rate on the orb. It's probably 33% or something. And yeah, that one took me, I got in a group, it took me about 20 minutes, and it took the others in my group mentioned that they'd been there for 50 minutes doing it. We all just laughed when we eventually got the drop and said, ha ha ha, oh well, that took a while, whatever, moved on and kept going. But the respawn timer was really obvious to me that there were more people around trying to do this quest. There was one other group competing against us. And even in the microcosm of a smaller, a less populated zone like Desolus, I did notice it where I was going, these respawns really could be dialed up a little bit better. And I can only imagine what it's like in STV where you really need that to the nth degree. So I completely accept it as a valid criticism of the server that, like, now that we're merged, guys, fucking get on these respawns. And they might be getting on them as we speak. But I just throw this out like chum in the water. I sort of see, I'm writing both sides of the argument here, because where I'm like, yes, this is on the devs to up the respawns for what is now a mega server, I'm also sitting there saying, we're not playing classic WoW, guys. There's so much new content out there. If you are being griefed in STV, if you are having a shit time and you can't get any tags, get the fuck out of the zone. Break the mold. Go do something different and the game will reward you for it. There are quests everywhere. Why stick with the crowd?
Yeah, that's fair. I'd parked my character in Stranglethorn Vale before the merge, thinking I'll just keep going on my crest route, follow my 3 breadcrumb crests that take me to Hemet Nessingwary, and logged on after the merge and just went and sort of just forgot that there'll be more people. And within 30 minutes, I could tell there were like multiple groups of 5 people camping most of the spawn points, running around trying to tag tigers and panthers. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is not going to happen. There's way too many people here now, and I'm just going to find somewhere else to go. But it was a bit disappointing, I have to say. But, these things happen.
I understand everyone wants to do STV because it's a fun zone. It's iconic. It's so, it epitomizes that mid, part of the journey for every WoW Classic player. But I just sort of keep tapping the sign like we did in SOD, going, but this isn't WoW Classic. If you sort of get me.
Yeah, luckily there's lots of alternatives. You've suggested Desolus. I'm going to go check that out soon. Yeah,
it's Ubi. It's not WoW Classic. It's Epoch. We did the same thing with SOD. You're not playing WoW Classic. You're playing SOD.
Yeah, I guess people are creatures of habit and they want to do their route. I've just approached this whole game the opposite of just like, where did I used to hate going, and let me go see if I don't hate going there anymore. So like I went and did Desolus, and yeah, it's like fucking Jesus. I think at some point I was holding on to 22 quests in the zone at the same time. I had to abandon like everything.
I've really enjoyed it. And like the funny thing is, like we keep saying, it doesn't take that much to fill out the gaps. Like I think there's probably only like, maybe I've done 7 or 8 new quests in Desolus, but they link together so well with what you were doing anyway. It just, it really makes it worthwhile. And like I said, I've got 2.5 levels just out of Desolus. Like that's a bit. I went there at 35. Go there at 35, guys. Mike gave me the hot tip. It was the best advice in the world. Got there at 35 and haven't looked back since. I'll probably leave at 38.
Yeah, because the zones are so jacked full, it's really good to go there at like the very beginning quests have just turned green for you, because then you smash all those and quickly by the end of the zone, like the ending quest will be 4 levels higher than the first quest and you'll end up capping out nicely. And then because of how many quests are in the world now, there should be another zone for you to perfectly enter at its mid-range again, and you're just constantly doing full zones and you're feasting. Like at this point, it's the first time leveling where I'm leaving a lot behind, because like you've just out leveled it instead of going from scrap to scrap around the world. Like me and Voodoo are 45 and 46 or whatever in Tanaris at the moment, and like there's so many quests to go and do. It's a nice feeling instead of having to ping pong around the map to do 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, do a dungeon because I'm fucking lost. Like we're just gonna have to, at this rate, I might not even get to do hinterlands. We'll see. I might have to skip it. So,
tell us a bit more though. I'll throw it to Crew Def and Vestige because I haven't seen it, and I imagine it's as horrible as advertised. And I know it's all well and good for me to sit here on my high horse and be like, just leave the fucking zone, guys. But Crew Def, I'll start with you and then we'll get to Vestige. Just explain to me specifically like how bad STV has been user-friendly wise.
Yeah, well, I was keen to go there because I usually avoid it because I usually play on PvP servers, so I hadn't done it properly in a long time. So that's why I was keen to go there and see what they've changed, because they've done such a good job with some of the other zones, and this is an iconic zone. So I was actually really looking forward to it. But basically, there's at least like if in any direction you look, I could see at least 10, if not 15 players, and they're all running around, all already in full groups. And every time a mob spawns, whether it's a tiger or a panther, they're tagged immediately within half a second.
What level?
And-
what level are you that you're talking about? By the way,
I was 33. Yeah.
Okay.
So these were actually below my level. These were the young tigers. They were green for me. Yeah. I've actually got the first round of young panthers and young tigers, but that took like half an hour, and it was extremely inefficient, and I was just a bit disappointed. So I just figured, you know what, this is not the vibe I want. I could be doing something that's a lot more fun, and so I just had to accept that and move on.
I hope you take my advice. Back to Hillsbrad with you, young man. Do those low 30s quest in Hillsbrad.
I've already done a couple of them, yeah. I'm 34 now I'm going to Desolate.
There you go, my man. Now, Vestige, tell us a bit more about your experience in STV.
It's pretty similar. Pretty much almost the same exact reasons, too. I usually avoid STV because I'm on PvP servers. So being on a PvE server, I was like, sweet, I get to kind of live in STV for a bit and not have to worry about getting killed every 5 seconds. So I was super excited to go start questing there. But same things. I start work my way up to the necessary quest. And it's just massive amounts of people try to get into groups, and then you have a group of 5, you're still competing with other groups of 5, and the spawns are just not happening. Took me, I think, about an hour to complete the first round of kill quests. Eventually, then I just gave up and just kind of ran around and did some herbing. I played around to say, hey, how far could I get? Like, could I try to get somewhere without seeing somebody on my screen? And I could not. Anytime I did a 360, I could see another player. It was just very, very packed.
More players than mobs.
Yeah. So it was absolutely more players than mobs. So eventually I just sawed it off and ran a few SM libraries and called it a night.
Okay.
This server has the same problem that WoW servers forever have had of like, there are just some jarring quest designs. Like it's the classic old kill 10 of these and 5 of them. But the spawns are inverted where there's fuckloads of the ones that you need. Oh, sorry. There's none of the ones that you need 10 of and fuckloads of the one that you need 5 of. And it's just like, and it could be one of the new quests. And it's just like, why does this keep being a thing? Why do you keep, like, someone goof it? Like, my plea is Blizzard. I'll go do Lawmaster on your C+ and meticulously tell you which quests you must have put the one where the 0 was supposed to go and the 0 where the 1 was supposed to go, because it just does my head in. Like, why do you want 5 of this Witch Doctor and 10 of that Brute, but there's a bazillion fucking Witch Doctors to kill and no fucking Brute? And then on top of the population, it just causes so many problems. Like, the mobs that share spawns and one's literally not even on a quest and stuff like that. It fucking kills me.
It's a long-standing problem. I think they did a good job, though, not of balancing those, but occasionally adding a quest to kill mobs that normally there is no quest. Like I think of the hyenas in Southern Barrens or the hyenas in what's it called, Thousand Needles.
That's been nice. Maybe I'm a monster, but fuck, I wanted a quest to kill giraffes in Barrens, but they've gotten rid of them entirely. I didn't see a giraffe.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
No, so they're on the waterway where all the crocodiles are on the sky, like near between Duratar. I ran down there after completing RFC and killed a bunch.
Okay, I didn't see a single one, and I wanted a quest to go like get giraffe necks or some shit.
Is there a reason they're over there?
I've no idea. It's just happenstance that I was running down there and I can comment on it.
Oh, because they're usually just all around the Barrens.
Yeah. No, that's good. At least they're still in. I thought they were gone ski.
On the Gold Road or whatever it's called in Southern Barrens, they're there. I think they may share spawns with the hyenas too, but they do exist.
All right, guys. Vestige, out of interest, what level are you now?
33.
Okay.
Oh no, I'd hit 34 in SM. So yeah. Fair
enough. But like, yeah, is this pushing you to like consider other zones, or are you going to try and keep plowing away with STV?
Oh yeah, I was already planning on going to Desolate tonight when I play, just because, I'm not going to go sit through STV again. But yeah, got to go where I can go. If I can't play in STV, I got to go somewhere else.
That's the way. Break away from the crowd. Do it. Let them fight amongst themselves. Guys, let's talk a little bit more about some of the class-related things that you're starting to notice. Everyone's interested. Everyone keeps asking, people who are, Epoch curious and maybe haven't rolled or have just started are like, well, what's going on with the classes? And I know, like, we don't have the answers because nothing's worked out. And the whole ethos of the server is just fucking play it and find out in your own and play what's fun. Don't play for, like, finding out who's strong and who's not. But players are always going to be curious, and I get that. Look, things are consistently still being fixed. Like, you heard me complaining about Warrior Charge on the last episode. I see within the last 2 or 3 days they have fixed that. I logged on last night. I've been logging on about every 48 hours with my Warrior and just charging the first mob I see to see if they fixed it. Last night it worked. That's great. Still, it probably takes you 1 yard closer to the mob than you'd like, in that when you charge, you are literally kissing the mob, and the mob will often take a step back, but at least it's not pushing you past the mob now, which is great. So the one thing with my class, the Warlock, which is a very fair complaint, I'm not sure if it's been fixed in the last 24 hours, but as of 24 to 36 hours ago, the Fell Hunter quest was still bugged. You cannot get a Fell Hunter as of right now, or as of the last time I checked. Look, I know a lot of people want to point, and this is just maybe I'm the fucking problem, Ubiquitous. When I went to go get my Fell Hunter, there was another Warlock there. I tried it. He turned to me and he said, "Is it bugged for you as well?" And I go, "Yeah, it is. Guess we're not getting Fell Hunters." And I just laughed and moved on. I just didn't give a fuck. I'm like, yeah, check back in with me in a month if I still don't have my Fell Hunter. And it is a huge deal for a Warlock to not have a Fell Hunter. But it just, to me, it's not game breaking. I'm like, it's a new server that they literally said, we're going to release it with bugs. And we all clicked that I consent button. And I just laughed and don't care. Whereas other people are writing very angry video essays about it that we all had a bit of a laugh about. But, any other class-related bugs for the mage that you've noticed or things?
Just kind of, I'm just putting it down to server jank. Blink was already there's a pixel in your path. It doesn't let you blink, but I'd say it's worse on here. But I didn't play a shitload of mage in classic, but from playing mage in the past, it's definitely a bit more wonky. To be honest, I think there were a few things, but I'm going a bit blank because they obviously aren't that important. Mine's more probably about the balance of mage, but that's probably, we can save that for when we 10 more episodes in.
Well, no. Well, I wanted to get into that now, so I just sort of weirdly started out with any little class bugs that you've noticed, because I just had to mention that thing about the Warrior and the Warlock. Anyone else here with the class they're playing just want to shout out any little bugs that people rolling that class today might want to know about?
So Feral Druid, a lot of the Feral Druid percent talents, as you go down, they're bugged. So the first one will count. Anything after that doesn't count, which is really interesting.
Okay.
Also, attack power seems to be a little off in cat form, just slightly. But it's not enough to really cause a big panic. And bear form, it's working as intended.
Fair enough. And I should also say, all the warriors will lose their minds. They are losing their minds over rage being very balked. Apparently, apparently you're still not getting any range from being attacked. The damage you take is giving no rage. And there's some other, some weird warrior nerd shit about rage that I never really read into much, that they're all losing their shit over.
Supposedly it's working as intended, but I don't believe that, because it is the same thing on bear and you don't get the same amount of rage.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit going on with the classes of it's the Wrath client, but the TBC classes in a classic setting, and which version of rage did they definitively use, because it changes a lot over those 3 expansions and how you generate it, rage normalization, yada yada yada. So I reckon it's probably wrong of me to do. I literally rule out half the complaints because it's probably someone being assumptuous of the wrong version of the game. It just straight up wasn't intended to work that way in this, but you don't have clarification from the devs because they could have nitpicked anything from those 3 versions of the game to to be what they wanted, but we don't have that information.
Hmm.
So a lot of us are kind of assuming in the dark a little bit. But I mean, yeah, there's definitely some bugs and stuff. But
I'll just read all this stuff out from CrewDef, who's playing a warrior and feels like he's seen enough to be able to comment on it. And he says, apparently it's a TBC range formula. Rage just felt low in general under 25, but 30 plus it seems okay. As far as things he's noticed, charge still will go past the mob if the stun resists, and cleave and sweeping strikes don't hit enough mobs, and execute often just consumes the rage but does not do the damage. I have seen those complaints on the Reddit as well, so that's more than fair enough. We'll get to the fun stuff, guys, but anyone else quickly on little jank things that people should know about with their class?
I think the priest wand talents are broken. I don't think it's actually increasing wand damage. Tauren War Stomp is still bugged. It randomly just goes off. And dots seem to do really jack shit in PvP. I think that more has to do with PvP HP scaling and PvP gear.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of dot classes are struggling right now, and I think Warlock Fear is not breaking in PvP properly.
The Warlock Fear in PvE has felt like it takes slightly more to break than I would have expected from a TBC or Wrath version of the game. It's not quite as in MOP, it's almost impossible to break the fear. You can just sit there and be a turret and fucking pump these targets that have a fear on them. But I do seem to remember in vanilla TBC Wrath, and I know that we're not necessarily playing vanilla TBC or Wrath, I just said that at the top of the show, but I do seem to remember this client, again, maybe it's my memory just being wrong, but I feel like you could break fear quite easily still, but I'm sometimes, not all the time, pumping mobs and being like, oh, I feel like my fear should have broken by now. But you know what? I'm probably just getting it wrong, and that's just how fear works. I don't fucking know. I've never played a Warlock seriously. But in saying that, you're right about a lot of people have mentioned the stuff with the PvP health pools, and feeling a bit... again, it's still early days, but in the early PvP battlegrounds, just feeling like there's definitely a right choice and a wrong choice when it comes to some classes. People are getting very different results, but we'll kind of have to come back to a lot of that at 60 and see how it works out. The one thing I'll say in general that I just feel still needs to be pointed out, and I do hope the devs are able to get to this, and it's not just a private server thing in general you've got to deal with. I feel like other private servers have sort of felt this way, but not as badly, is casters overall seem to have a lot of issues with, everyone's talking about the spell queuing, and it is a thing. There's just so many instances, not enough for it to be a thing I would really lose my shit over, but there are a lot of instances of me just pressing a spell and I'm not silenced, I'm not nothing, just pressing a spell and it doesn't go off. A great example yesterday, again, it only happens 5% of the time, I can't say, but I queued up my Amplify Curse yesterday. I literally looked at my hotbars. I pressed the button for Amplify Curse, and I saw the hotbar do the animation that acknowledges that you have pressed the button, but Amplify Curse was not, executed or whatever, was not turned on. And I threw out my Bane of Agony, and I'm like, that wasn't amplified, even though I pressed the Amplify button. Then all these Shadow Bolts I'm sending out, sometimes it just won't send the next one, even though you've just been sitting there spamming your Shadow Bolt button. A lot of the ones that probably get to me the most are sometimes I genuinely just see my cast stop halfway through a cast, when again, I have not been silenced, I have not been CC'd in any fucking way, shape or form, and I just hit my Immolate button, and halfway through the cast, it'll just stop. And my character's just sitting there with his stick in his hands. And I'm like, oh, why did he stop casting that Immolate? That I didn't move. That's very odd. It just happens every now and again. I just think that something's going on with the sending of the data to the server of casting spells with cast times, and it's a little bit weird. So just if you're planning on rolling a caster, I'm not saying don't roll a caster. Like I said, 95% of my casts, no dramas. But it's just something that comes up a little bit more often than I'd like, that I'd really like to see them address. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. 100%. It's happening a bit. It'd just be like the spell isn't queuing properly or something. I know I'm pressing the button within the precast window. And yeah, it just doesn't go off, and I'm kind of left there for a sec thinking like, what?
I think it's more when you try and go from hard casting to a follow-up instant cast. That's when I get the most clash.
Yeah.
And then I'm also, I mean, there is 100% a big problem with spell sequencing, but it's probably compounded for us with the 250 ping as well. So sometimes I don't know if I'm having a moment, because like my quartz add-on is sometimes I'll cast and it's showing that I have 1,000 ping when I started that cast, and then goes back to 250 and all kinds of wonk. But yeah, it's like for example, presence of mind is a nightmare to try and use. If I'm like Arcane Blast, Presence of Mind, Arcane Blast, it's like, fuck, I may as well have not pressed it. I could have just kept queuing Arcane Blast and it actually would have gotten off quicker. So that's probably the most janky spell, but I haven't had a problem with Counterspell ever. So I'm grateful that at least it's not having any issues. But yeah, there's definitely some wonk to it when I'm like, Flame Strike into Cone of Cold works every time, but like Arcane Explosion spam feels so fucking slow compared to what I would rip on like a Blizzard official OCE server. So yeah, it's definitely, spellcasters, be warned, can be a little bit wonky, but I don't really notice it because, I mean, it's still like classic. It all feels like you're casting through mud anyway.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get through all that before we get to we're going to go talk about our experiences with our classes now in terms of the fun stuff. I just wanted to get that out there first, just to sort of let people know because there will be a lot of people listening to this who maybe still are planning to roll on Epoch, who haven't yet. And it's not so much buyer beware as opposed to just know this little stuff before you pick the class that you pick. Knowing that they may well fix all these issues, but just so that you don't, get too shitty if you notice these little things as you're leveling, sort of go in a little bit forewarned. But like I said, this is not diminishing my fun in any way. It's just funny, stupid shit that I've noticed that hopefully does get ironed out. Ubi, I feel like we have to start with you with the mage, because people are slowly but surely realizing that, with the changes they've made to Arcane Mage on Epoch, it is a fucking beast. It is like the guys that group up with you, Voodoo can attest to this. Voodoo, I might even start with you and just say people are watching you kill mobs as we drive by you in the world and just losing their minds with jealousy because of how quickly you're destroying mobs. And you might say, oh, but I've got a drink. But like, mate, every other class, and me included, I think maybe save for like 2 classes in the game, Hunter probably being one of them, we're taking 15 to 20 seconds to kill mobs, and you're killing them in 6. Voodoo, you've shouted out a number of times, just like the amount of times I've heard you say in voice chat, Voodoo, what the fuck? You just melted that bloke.
It's been pretty crazy. Even in dungeons, like I'll run in and try and get a bit of threat on everything, and he's just pulling shit left, right, and center. Like even with taunt, it's just non-existent with him.
Yeah, I wait 3 seconds. I cast 1 Arcane Blast. It crits for 1100, and then the mob comes and beats my head in.
But I mean, it is in all fairness, Arcane is fucking slapping, isn't it?
Massively.
Yeah, it's trucking. Like it's strong, and then it's compounded by like they haven't done anything with fire and frost. Like I was frost bolting things like 12 times to kill a mob the same level as me, and then I changed to arcane, and I started to like 3 arcane blasts into a juiced up arcane barrage, and then
Instead,
maybe the mob would need a wand or just an arcane explosion to finish off usually.
Yeah, so you're only hitting about generally an average of 5 buttons to kill a mob.
Yeah.
I'm hitting, like, what am I hitting? Let me think. I'm hitting, well, to be fair, I'm only hitting 6 buttons to kill mobs. But, like, so I'll go Corruption, Immolate, Shadowbolt, 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 Drain Soul. But that Drain Soul holds for about, 2.5 to 3 seconds.
Yeah, no, it's definitely busted, and even on the mana front, like I pretty much only drink like once every 10 mobs maybe, but that is how, like, TBC Arcane with Mage Armor, you do have so much like mana regen ticking away while you've even while you're casting, and I've tried to stack the shit out of Spirit to keep it going. So yeah, it is a lot of fun. I don't understand why they did this with Arcane, because like if you've taken the TBC classes and specs, Arcane was like already a decent spec with that tier bonus that they get, but like you've taken the best spec and then they also gave it the Wrath ability on top. So it's super cracked, but they didn't do that with Fire. Like, Fire doesn't have Hot Streak, and Frost doesn't have Fingers of Frost. So, like, I'm assuming that they're going to have to do something or give those specs a spell, because Fire is legitimately spam Fireball, and your capstone is Dragon's Breath, which, I mean, I haven't played Fire Mage in raids, but I can't imagine you're fucking using it. Like, it's just it's an AoE ability for dungeons or whatever. And then Frost gives you a pet, which, I mean, that's kind of good, but yeah, it's just, I don't know where they've gone with Mage, where Arcane was probably already going to be the best spec, and then they went, you know what, you need Arcane Barrage for free at level 16. Yeah, all right, cool.
It's
So,
just
yeah,
that
it's cracked.
it's that during the leveling process, like when we get to 60 and everyone can start bitching about class balance, that's another thing. But it is during that leveling process that every other class looks at hunters and mages and just goes, oh, that's not fair. Because even though we've talked about, you might only be pressing one less button than me, it's the time to kill that's the big factor. And like,
Yeah.
or those button presses that I just explained to you when I'm Corruption, Immolate, 3 Shadow Bolts and a Drain Soul, and you go, oh, it's only 6 button presses. Yeah, but that's still a minimum 15-second kill time on a same level mob. Whereas your kill time is halved. Your kill time is what is it? 2.5 second Arcane Blast?
Well, Arcane Blast gets quicker with each cast, so
There you go.
yeah, I would say I'm killing a mob in maybe 7
to 8
or
seconds.
Okay, 8
Yeah,
seconds.
so
if I get a crit, yeah, but between the 5 spells, something will crit.
You're killing every mob, twice as quick as me and everyone else.
Yeah. there is there'll be a classic player out there that's glad to hear. It does come with the con of I am, like, Arcane Mage is the ultimate glass cannon.
Well, are you
Like-
drinking all the time or not?
No. I can kill probably 6-7 mobs before needing to drink.
Right, because that's historically been the great equalizer, is like, okay, they've got a shorter time to kill, but look at all this time they spend drinking.
Yeah. So the only thing that is trying to balance it out is, like, if I fight a ranged mob, say it's like a hunter mob and it's got arcane shot and all the mobs are cracked now, it's like a DPS race. Like, they'll put me on a quarter HP killing a mob if I'm lazy. So yeah, I think the damage is OP. To give someone like an example, just with numbers, we did a Ring of Strength, which is like the Ring of Blood from TBC. There's a new one in STV, and over like the 7 bosses that you kill, I did like 52% of the entire group's damage.
There you go.
Like, I did more than the 3 DPS combined.
Look, let's put a pin in the classes for a second. We'll come back to that because I want to hear everyone's opinion on the classes they're playing right now in terms of all the fun stuff. Mate, let's do a quick review, the non-spoiler quick review of the new stuff that you and Voodoo have plowed through. You and Voodoo are ahead of, and it should be, remember, you guys are ahead of the pack, so your experience will vary from the majority of people that hear this podcast. You guys are smashing it. I believe you're level, what are you now, Voodoo? 47?
Yeah, 47.
And Voodoo
47.
and Yubi, you're 45 or 46?
Yeah, I'm 2 bars off 46 at the moment.
Okay, there you go. So you guys are fucking killing it. you've become the dynamic duo. I don't know who Batman is and who Robin is. You can fucking sort that out amongst yourselves. But you've gone and done the new, Ring of Blood, quote unquote, in STV. You've gone and done the new dungeon in the low 40s, Glittermerc Mines. Give us the spoiler-free review of both of those, starting maybe with... Oh, and the world boss as well, I should say. So 3 things. Yubi, you can kick off, then we'll throw it to Voodoo. Let's start with the Ring of Blood. Spoiler-free review. Go for it.
It's what you would expect, but I think they did a good job of, it's in STV, so the things that you fight are from STV, so to speak. There's even they're quite hard, and it's the same as Ring of Blood, where there's many groups. Don't know if this is a spoiler, but you get to the last boss, and there's lots of people looking for just the last boss because their group couldn't do it.
Yeah, so the last boss I have heard is quite the challenge.
Yeah, we were cruising through with Voodoo tanking, and we've done it twice now because we helped Mike do it as well, and both times the entire party is 20% health and completely because the last dude is just a fucking beast.
Love it. Love it. Voodoo, what was your experience with it? Thumbs up, thumbs down, hard, easy?
Thumbs up. I thought it was great. I think they're all pretty balanced. Well, even the last boss, it slaps, but it's doable, and it's not a cakewalk. I like that.
Yeah, so it is doable. If people start bitching about this fucking thing is impossible, is it tell them to shut up? They just need a better group.
Yeah.
It just makes you play your class properly, and that's a good thing.
It's probably hard to do with a healer that's not a healer. You can't just pick up an enhancement shaman and he says, "Oh yeah, I'll heal you." He will go on the last boss in 10 seconds.
He'll need all his healing kit on.
Yeah, we did it both times with a proper spec healer. But yeah, I would say it's just like the Ring of Blood. It's the right amount of dopamine, because you get a fuckload of experience, and the rewards, at least for some classes, were extremely good. I think healers could be mildly disappointed, I'm unsure. But yeah, it was just perfectly in that alley. It's a nice little gas up because it feels so efficient when you do it. And just on the whole of STV, it was already one of the best zones in Classic, but now it is just on fucking steroids. It's crazy how many quests they've put in that zone. I mean in a good crazy.
And just on the experience thing, I don't think it's spoilery to say this, but again, the mantra of the podcast when talking about Epoch kind of is don't skip stuff. Get off your normal route, go around and experience everything, because you're going to, and we're already meeting Countdown people who are missing Dead Mines and Wailing Caverns because they're going, oh, fuck, I followed my normal questing route and I out-leveled it and now there's no reason to go. And they're just not doing it. And I'm like, don't. You're fucking robbing yourself of an amazing new experience with new content. Stop doing what you normally do and just make a point of, I have to go to Dead Mines at the appropriate level. I have to go to Wailing Caverns at the appropriate level. And so would it be fair for me to say, given the experience reward, do you make this appointment television? You have to go and do the STV Ring of Blood?
Oh, 1000%. I'm talking it's half a level in 15 minutes. Kind of cracked.
And cool, fun, new stuff to see.
Yeah.
You get rewarded for doing it.
Yeah. It's definitely, you cannot miss it. I mean, I reckon I'll be rocking the weapon till I'm in BRD or some shit. I can't imagine there'll be something better for a long time.
Very good. Let's move on to the fucking Peanut Gallery's review of Glittermerc Mines. Again, might be a bit harder to I'll push you to go non-spoilery on this one, but Voodoo, I'll start with you, then we'll go Yubi. Thumbs, because I don't think you're the only two guys in the guild outside of Mike that have done it. Actually, no, a couple of others might have done it. Thumbs up or thumbs down? How are we looking?
Thumbs up. I thought it was great. Not as pretty looking as Wailing Caverns, but overall I think they've done really well with it. A few nice Easter eggs in there too.
There you go. Yubi, agree, disagree?
Yeah, it doesn't leave anything to be desired aesthetically because it's a fucking mine. Like, you are just in a mine. But
Yeah.
the
I said
layout-
this, just to jump in, I said the same thing about the redesigns Dead Mines, where I'm like, hey, it's great that it's been redesigned. I did really have a good time, but at the end of the day, it's still just a fucking mine.
Yeah, so it is cool. I saw people complaining that there was too much trash, but I think they were just over clearing. You can skip a lot, and that was actually, we had a moment in there when we were thinking about it, and having unnecessary excess trash that you can skip, for me anyway, it actually adds to dungeons. It feels like you're actually, it's like I don't know, an in and out fucking operation of danger. When you clear 100% front door to back door, you kind of leave thinking that like that part of the world's gone. Whereas when you leave a whole bunch of baddies in a cave, but you've taken out their boss, I don't know, it makes it feel more authentic. But besides that tangent, I think they put good bosses in there. Like, they suit what it is, and without spoilers, it's kind of hard to articulate why, but there's a flooded part of the mine, and what they do in there is pretty cool, and how you start the boss. And then there's another section that's like, there's a bunch of signs because the workers don't want to go into that room, and then you go in there and it's like, oh yeah, there's a thing that they didn't want to deal with. Like, just those little things. It's very creatively on point by the devs.
Now, you have done it twice, and you said you kind of had very different experiences in those two different occasions. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Our first run was a fucking nightmare run. And it turns out that tanks bottleneck your fun. So if your mate sucks at tanking, you won't like your friend anymore. But we had a horrible level 40 pally. I forget his name, but yeah, just like the kind of tank that holds W to body pull and then pulls 3 packs and then you wipe because for some reason he can't use his 25-yard fucking exorcism to
pull something back, yeah.
anything else. And then we flipped it by having Voodoo tank the next run, and it was fucking piece of piss.
There you go.
So,
Against all odds.
Yeah, he might be winning the tank wars against Mike because Mike abandoned us at the start of that run, and we had to run out and summon a new DPS. That was a big shift in the tank elections.
Yeah,
more soon.
Voodoo, we've got the two of my favorite running jokes with the guild so far has been the race between you and Ubiquitous to 60 that both of you refuse to acknowledge. And then also the gubernatorial elections that's going to take place between you and Mike for the quote-unquote guild tank, which I say facetiously because obviously, like, there's a bunch of people playing tank, and I'm not just here to fucking single these two Muppets out and be like, they're our guys. Obviously, we don't give a fuck. Anyone can do it, but it's fun watching you get sort of pushed away from tanking because Mike said he was doing it, and then coming back to it. Mate, you're all in, and I think I'm going to have to coax Mike into it. We will hold the presidential debate for the guild tank spot, but I'll say between you and Mike, but maybe we'll get a third or fourth person involved as well. You'd be looking forward to that?
I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm going to say that Mike even pushed me to play chicken.
There you go.
Yeah, there could have been underworld political propaganda played early to sway one of the candidates. And are you saying we're going to get an independent in? Maybe like a level 30 with aspiring tanking career.
Well, Yak says he nominates Mercatron. Like I said, there's other tanks in the guild. I'm not here to fucking shit on the other tanks. It's just that I know these two other tanks very well, so it's easy to poke fun at them and shit on them. But yeah, there you go. Voodoo's wearing his Vote Voodoo 25 campaign pin or button at the moment.
I've got it all made up. The Slogos walking around Barons getting gravel rush.
Mate, he's kissing babies, swiping mobs, fairy firing. He's doing all the right things on this political trail.
There you go. I love it. We'll organise that in the next week or two. That'll be a bit of fun. Hey, Marcus, are you going to be up for much longer?
A little bit longer, yeah.
All right. Well, I might do this. Look, we might do this now before you fall asleep on us because you are a night shift man, and I don't begrudge you for getting tired and having to duck out soon. I teased that. Look, there was There's a video. This is very tangential to everything we've just been talking about, everyone. Please forgive me if I just grab you all and really give you whiplash in taking the show in this direction for the next 5 or so minutes, or maybe longer, because a video has been going around the Countdown Discord over the last 24 hours that has caused quite the stir. And it's sort of, I've joked that it's become, the blue and gold dress of the WoW community over the last 24 to 36 hours, because people can't decide whether it's the greatest piece of comedy writing of all time by design or whether it's just the greatest crash out of all time. So what I wanted to do is, Marcus hasn't actually heard this video yet. It's a content creator he posted a video saying, Project Epoch sucks and here's why. And he's got the thumbnail with the double, birds being flipped at the viewer. And he seems to be a very angry man with a lot to say about why he's not enjoying Project Epoch. And then you start the video and it just goes in all the most beautiful and wild directions you could imagine. But I at first I was kind of like, look, we've not really done anything like this in the past on the show. I do accept any hesitations from people. If you're like, oh, Josh, this is a bit mean. Like, are you kind of, having a go at this guy when you shouldn't be? I think it's fun and fair play. I think, and like we say, we're still undecided if this is actually intentional. I change my mind every 3 seconds on whether or not this guy is just has created the greatest shitpost of all time, which I'm split on it. So I think it's pretty fair game to have a go at it and appreciate the comedy behind this thing, because as I say, it could well be intentional. But Marcus, are you ready to buckle up and go for a bit of a ride?
Yeah, look, I've managed to shield myself from the video successfully. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
So we're going to get your live reactions. What I really wanted to do is I wanted to grab Hunk as well. Let me just ping him and see if he's awake. I don't think he'll be available, but if I could get him, that would be great. While I'm just hitting up Hunk, so I'm just going to preface this, guys. I'm going to set up the audio and everything for this, and we'll get started on Marcus's live reaction to what I think is, quite frankly, I'm not saying this, with exaggeration, the greatest bit of WoW content I've seen ever for WoW Classic. I think a lot of people have agreed with me. This is a top 3 ever WoW video. Would you agree, Yubi?
Yes, and I mean, Mike's done a lot of investigating, and apparently this man has a poor reputation and might just be a lunatic. But for a while, we thought that he might be the greatest comedic genius of our time.
And look, the jury's out. Maybe he is. Like, we'll see. But yeah, I've reached out to Hunk. I don't think he's going to wake up. It would have been great to get him, but that's okay. What we'll do now is I'll tee up the video. Yubi, can you, well, just real quick, I'll get you guys talking on, when we talk about the greatest bit of WoW Classic content over the last 6 years, ranging from serious to comedic, examples obviously come up straight away. When I think of, for me personally, Barney's video is very hard to go by for that number 1 slot. Can you guys think of like what you would call your do you have a video that you're like, I know this is the best piece of WoW Classic content I've ever seen?
I forget it off the top of my head, but there's the infamous warrior tanking Valstraz telling off his guildies that he's using cleave or some shit, and he's like sword and boarding with a Thunder Fury, and his whole team's like, it was the drop of the pin moment where they realize that their tank is a fucking shit for brains player and had been doing things wrong the entire fucking time. I forget the title of the video, but
what about you other guys? What's your number 1 video? Because I say Barney. Does anyone agree with that?
Yeah, Barney, 100%. That was an epic journey throughout the whole thing. Like, it always left me hanging out for more.
I can't go past nostalgia of minus 52.
Yo, what's up, guys? Void.
Sorry, can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
You could hear that audio, Marcus?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Was it loud enough? Do you need me to turn it up?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Now, Marcus, sorry, Auntie, I cut you off there. Did you finish that thought?
I can't go past someone. Minus 50 DKP and Nixia, like, that is...
Oh, that's old. That's old
in my
school.
memory
No.
forever.
I'm talking the classic era.
Oh, I didn't watch any shit then.
Including your fucking shit, Josh. All right. Look, here we go. Marcus, I need you to, not that you wouldn't anyway, listen in very intently, and I'll pause it periodically when it's obvious that you need to say something.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Everyone, just for attribution reasons, this is Voivid, Voivid. You can find his channel on YouTube. He does a lot of WoW Classic content, a lot of guides out there for PvP and whatnot. He's obviously become involved in the Turtle WoW Epoch thing, trying out both servers, and he's ultimately decided that he's not a fan of Project Epoch for various reasons. He's made a couple of videos on it, and this is the latest video that has caught a little bit of traction, but not quite anywhere near as much traction as I would hope, given how funny I find it. Here we go.
Here, and I made a video the other day, yesterday actually, I think, talking about Project Epoch and how, I think it's a bad server. There's a lot of problems with it, and a lot of you guys are taking this way too far, dude. Like, some of the comments have just been absolutely uncalled for. I've been called, okay, dude, I'm gay. All right. First off, I'm not gay, and, I have gay family members. My grandfather was gay, and no, I'm not joking. He was a great-grandfather. Not my great-grandfather. He was a great person, like a great-grandfather. Not my actual great. He was straight. But, calling...
So that's, we're off with the kickoff, Marcus. With the ball's been kicked off, it's been hit up for the first time. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it's just pretty based at the moment. Look, I'm eager to hear more.
Yeah. Is it not a great grandfather? He was just a great grandfather.
Look, like
okay?
it's just.
Let's continue.
Me gay? What's it even? What if I was gay? Like, what's that even matter? Like, why do you have to say that on my fucking YouTube channel? Some of you guys are coming in my stream, and it's fucking bullshit. Oh, here's another one. Oh, crying, dude. This 30-something-year-old man's crying. I'm 43, dumbass. Thanks for the compliment.
43 and still closeted, it seems. Wow.
No, he's not talking about. He's talking about how nice it is to get the age compliment, and oh my god, you were 6 years off.
Sorry, I just like target fixation there. Look, it's still based. Please, more.
All right.
You guys can sit here and cope all you want, dude, and fucking, oh, Project Epoch's awesome. No, it's not, dude. It's a trash server. It's bad, dude. And you're playing on there, fine. Do whatever you want, dude. But that doesn't mean I can share my fucking opinions, dude. And you don't have to call me a fucking libtard. Why would you call it like, oh, he's a libtard? What's fucking that have to do with anything with a video game, dude? Literally. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. So what if I voted for Kamala Harris or whatever, dude? He didn't vote for Donald Trump, dude. I'm not telling you who I voted for. Maybe I did vote, maybe I didn't, but shut the fuck up, dude. I'm not a libtard. Fucking idiots, dude. And then
Now, here's the thing, because I've been breaking this tape. You kind of have to see the video as well, Marcus. Unfortunately, you're not getting that right now. I've changed my mind, like I said a million times on this. Like, initially, I was like, this is a crash out. This guy is not a comedic genius. But and I still kind of lean in that direction, but I swear I can see him almost breaking multiple times through the video. Like, the corner of his mouth almost starts to smile a bunch of times. And I'm like, is he fucking with us? Like, I don't know.
Look, I think it's the Uno reverse card, I think, man. Like, some people probably tried to troll him, so he's just done better. He's 43. He said it. He's been on the internet for longer than these guys, I reckon. He's got around him, and he's a comedic genius.
All right, just 2.5 more minutes to go.
You get people saying, oh, dude, I kick your ass. Like, dude, you wouldn't say that to me in real life. All right? I'm a fucking orange belt in judo. I'd fucking fold you.
Yeah, this guy is this guy's won. He's won the internet, man. He's done it.
So at this point, you're convinced he is a
100%.
master
The orange
comedian.
belt thing, man. It's 100%.
Yeah, because that was the line that sold a lot of people. Because I didn't know that orange belt is one level above white belt.
Yeah, he's because it's quite obscure. No one ever talks about the orange belt, man, but he's claiming it's his
We don't spend enough time talking about the orange belt.
No, we don't, and it's part of the progression, you know.
He could be the first orange belt to ever brag about being an orange belt.
And so that is the point. A lot of people point to that line and go, "That's how you know this is satire." But
yeah, I think
Mike
Mike would
is
have me on
convinced
this too,
still it's
man.
not.
Like he would read between the lines here. He'd see this for what it is, and it's great. I don't want to spoil anybody's fandom or whatever, but I'm a fan of this guy now. I've never seen his videos before.
The beauty of the video is even, and like I said, it's the blue dress, gold dress meme from Facebook is still absolutely applicable in this situation, because even if you're the half of the crowd that thinks it's a crash out versus the half of the crowd that thinks it's comedy like genius, both enjoy it equally for this almost the same reasons.
Yeah. He wins
pussy ass like a lawn chair, dude. You wouldn't say that to me in real life.
I missed that bit.
I'd fucking fold your pussy ass like a lawn chair, dude. You wouldn't say that to me in real life. All right? Some of you guys might not understand, how fucking important I am in the fucking, World of Warcraft community. Sorry, I'm not fucking Asmongold, dude. Or, here, look, let me show you, dude. Here, in case you can't fucking see that, dude. See that, dude? Payo's on my friends list, fucking idiot, dude. Right? Easy Clam, thank you for the raid. Yo, what's up? Dude, you guys fucking look.
So at this point, I have to say, because it's an audio medium, he's pulled up the DMs in Discord with Payo.
Yeah.
And he shows it relatively quickly for about 7 or 8 seconds, and he kind of moves it around in the background. But if you do the freeze frame, the messages are quite funny. In that, the first message is him basically asking Payo why he's shit talking him. and Payo doesn't respond for months or weeks, I should say. So it's the message that he's showing off the top one is, yo, what the fuck is with the random hate? I never talked to you in my life. I mean, it's whatever. Happy holidays, bro. to no response, to a follow-up message the next day saying what's up, to no response.
Yeah.
To eventually 2 weeks later, Payo responding to him saying thanks for the raid. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not shopped, he's had that one in the that one's in the folder for saving it. He's been saving it, and he's got a chance to use it now. This is the Payo reference, why Payo of all people?
It keeps going. It keeps going.
I'm really so who's this guy, dude? Who's this guy? This guy's a libtard. He's a pussy. I could kick his ass. Sure you would. Yeah, you say that now, dude. Say it to my fucking face, dude. Look, you see this right here? This is Metagoblin, okay? A lot of you guys watch his YouTube videos, okay? He has me as a fucking emote. Literally my face, dude. Okay? So you guys thinking, oh, this guy's a fucking nobody. Dude, I leveled a naked warrior to 60 in hardcore and with no help and didn't die, dude. Oh, sorry you never heard of me, dude. My name's Voivod. Hello, hardcore fucking legend, dude. First of all...
Okay, I swear he almost smiles there. I swear he almost breaks.
Yeah.
But he pulls up Metagoblin's Twitch page and shows off his face as an emote. And I'm pretty sure it is his face. But the new meme that hath been born fantastically as a result of this that I love is the friend of Payo meme. And Marcus, you'll get a fucking kick out of this, because I was laughing around with the guys yesterday as soon as we started watching this, and I was like, this is like the modern friend of Dorothy, where like you could now translate, if you guys don't know, a relatively archaic bit of terminology for homosexuals, 50, 60 years ago, whatever, is friend of Dorothy. A not necessarily a fucking term of endearment or whatever, but like a lighter way of referring to gay people or homosexuals, many moons ago. And some people still are aware of the term. Now we've got this moment where with the WoW players, I feel like he's coined the term friend of Payo.
He's done it.
He's done it. Oh, it's so good. But anyway.
Oh, it's a skill issue? You're going to tell me it's a skill issue? Dude, have you even been rank 1 in Ascension? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. I've been rank 1 multiple times in Ascension. I make fucking YouTube videos about warlocks and vanilla, teaching people how to play, dude, and you're going to tell me, oh, it's a skill issue, dude. The server is fucking trash, dude. You look, fucking 500 views here, 300 views here, 300.
He's now on his YouTube page deliberately pointing out the videos just with 300 views.
Yeah.
Seeming to brag about it.
Yeah.
This was the point where I thought he was fucking taking the piss for sure.
This was Yubi's point of no return, that this is a bit.
Look, fucking 500 views here, 300 views here, 300. Look, 5.5, dude. How to fucking 1v1? All these fucking... You're gonna tell me, oh, it's a skill issue, dude. Like, you guys are fucking idiots, dude. It's why I hate playing this game with, like, most people, dude. Because the community is just fucking full of idiots, dude. I can't share my opinion on a private server without being called gay, retarded, libtard, fucking skillish, trash, whatever you guys want to say to me, dude. Oh, then you could kick my ass, dude. Like, go ahead. Try that in real life, dude. Try it, dude. Try it.
I think in this moment, we are all Voivod.
Yeah. Yep. It really speaks to me. The video speaks to me. His shit posting ability is off the fucking charts. This guy is a god of it. He's now my hero, I think.
I think I won't play you the last 30 seconds, but like I think that's a good point to wind it up. We probably dragged this bit on a little bit longer than I thought, but Sinner has posted his message that he started spamming in the Discord, which is sort of the icing on the cake. If you see there, Marcus, Sinner's got the emojis out with turtle enjoyer, grandfather, gay, friends, Payo and Metagoblin, judo belt, orange, HC warrior, naked, ascension, number 1.
There's a lot in this. There's a lot going on in this, man. It's deep. It's the shit posting runs deep in there. It's great.
So I thank you for holding off on that one. I know it's a bit weird taking it in just by audio, but I hope it was a bit of a journey.
I think we need to deep dive this. We need to analyze this 100%.
Mike's worked deep on it for 2 days.
Yeah, Mike has gone well down the rabbit hole. Mike is Kevin Costner in JFK on this one.
Well, I think I need to have a discussion with Mike because this is deep.
Well, people were like, get him on the show, and I think Yubi was with me on this one. I was immediately like, no, because he just gets to say whatever whatever the correct answer is. He'll say he was either playing it up or whatever, even if he wasn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a bit of fun. Thanks for taking a bit of a sidetrack there with me, guys.
There was other content creator drama this last week that has been requested of me to be brought up on the pod.
Please.
There was apparently a case. There's a lot of guildies that are alarmed that the leadership of the guild is so cowardly. Apparently there was an instance of a well-known podcaster begging, is the word I've been informed, in guild chat for money to turn war mode off. Would we like to look into this at all?
I can address this.
Absolute scandalous reports have been sent to me in DMs by many people.
Yeah, why don't you get
shame?
No, Voodoo, get the allegation out there and I'll respond to it.
You want me to get it out?
Yeah, you're prosecuting this one. What's the fucking allegation?
So apparently, someone in the guild JC, Josh
No,
Corbett.
no. Yeah, we've
Has
got
used
full
his
indictment, names and
streaming-
everything.
Is what?
You got to do the full indictment, names and everything. No one's protected here.
So the allegation is that Josh Corbett has used his streaming privileges to receive funds for turning war mode off.
Okay. Now, so what's the charge? Is it fraud? Is it abuse of office to receive funds?
For unscrupulous means.
Because
Like
we
to
can
do-
all
to do
agree.
horrible
We can all
things.
agree it's not a crime to borrow cash off a guildie. So obviously something else has happened that has elevated this to a crime.
Yeah, this is a clear case of abuse of power.
Right.
Suppression of. We thought we were all colleagues, but it might actually just be a dictatorship. We're unsure.
Right. Okay. I'm the head of the socialist snake.
You are the puppet master. You are. That's your rank in the guild.
No,
I'm
I
looking at your rank. It says Puppet Master.
I welcome this
and
charge.
I think you've played all of us like puppets.
And I look forward to having my day in court to address it, and that day is right now. Very good. Marcus, do you want to be my defense attorney, or do you want to come at me?
Probably not the guy to be defending, mate.
All right, I'll
His own lawyer hates what he's done.
I'll self-represent in this one. That's all right. Okay, so here we've got to agree on the facts, and then we can determine whether or not you guys have met, the fucking whether you guys go and prove beyond a reasonable doubt that I've committed the crime. So the facts, as I say, and you let me know if you disagree with any of these.
We're about to get lawyered so hard.
No. So basically, it's true. I decided. Yubi was talking in voice chat the other day about how he was being gangbanged in war mode. Oh my god, I want to turn this thing off. I'm going to Orgrimmar to turn it off. Oh my god, it's 10 gold. I thought it was going to be the respecking cost. I can't afford that. Fuck it, I'll just stick with it. And I heard you be saying this, and while he was saying it, I was in Hillsbrad getting gangbanged myself. And a roaming group of 3 were kind of hanging around the farms being cockheads, and I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm fucking over it. I was 50-50 on this war mode thing anyway. I'm going to tap out before it becomes a thing in STV. I'm done. So I go to Orgrimmar, and I discover because I'm level 26, it was 5 gold for me and not 10 gold because it scales by level. So people, and I really, in all seriousness, I put out a bit of a public service announcement about this in the Discord saying, guys, please really, truly, especially now that we are merged with Kazan, consider how strongly you feel about war mode, because it will be like you're not on the quote-unquote chill server anymore. You're on the big server. People are killing people left, right, and center. There are groups everywhere. You will get your shit pushed in, so to speak. If you are not an absolute PvP enthusiast, you may not enjoy it as much. So just make sure that you really, really mean it when you turn on war mode. And also be aware that, yeah, I agree with the guys. This look, may be a little bit of 4D chess, by the devs, or maybe they've tried to outsmart themselves, or maybe they've sort of, tried to be a little bit too smart or cheeky with this one in the design fields, where I agree that it's probably a little bit prohibitive in terms of I was just expecting the general talent respec costs, like many of you were, 1 gold, 5 gold, 10 gold, if you were to repeatedly turn on and off war mode. But it ain't that, guys. It scales purely by level, and they do actually tell you that when you turn it on, but most people don't read it. It's like, it will cost you 5 gold at level 24 or whatever to turn this shit off. And at level 24, you're barely going to have 5 gold. So it's all your money to turn it off. You really need to consider how you feel about war mode. But that being said, I go to Orgrimmar and I speak to old mate, and he's like, this will cost you 5 gold. And I look at my bank account and it says, fucking 3 gold 90. And I go, oh, fuck, I'm going to be a little bit short. So I reached out to the guild and I go, hey, does anyone have like 1 gold that I can borrow just to do this war mode thing? And I'm very, very lucky that a lovely guildie reached out and said, yes, you can, have a gold from me. Now, fuck, I feel so bad. The druid, whose character's name is fucking escaping me. You guys will know.
Doesn't
Will we?
even remember.
This isn't looking good
This
for
is
him.
not looking great for you, mate.
No. If I log on, I'll literally see the guild. Are you
He's
gonna make me
gonna
log on?
say any random druid name.
Oh my god. I feel so horrible. You're the best person and I've forgotten your character's name. I should remember because you loaned me all that gold. And when I say all that
Very
gold, I
much
mean all
privileges.
that 1 gold. 1.6 gig update. Oh, fuck that. All right. I'm not getting on anytime soon. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I get the 1 gold loan and I'm going to be very apologetic to this amazing person once I remember their toon's name. And I turn off war mode and I shit you not, 2 hours later, that mail is back as that 1 gold is sent back to the original borrower, lender, I should say, and all debts are repaid and Josh goes on his merry way. So can we agree, do you guys dispute any of those facts as I've told them?
I'm pretty sure the messaging guild was, "Hi guys, it's Josh Corbett. Does anyone have any gold for me to turn war mode off?"
Or else?
Or else. Yeah, so like I'm just gonna come clean here because it's tearing us apart. This streamer privilege thing, it's tearing us apart. I kind of added a few details once someone said that you borrowed gold.
Oh, here we go. When I wasn't around, the story got a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Defamation.
What were those details that were added into the soup mix, Marcus?
Perhaps I can't, memory's a bit fuzzy, all right, but I may or may not have said, so he used his streamer privileges so he didn't get beat up. I might have said that. I don't remember.
I'm okay with that.
It seems as though he has forgotten the name of his savior, just like any streamer does when you sub. It's a thanks for the sub and you're back out of mind immediately.
Yeah.
Seems awfully abusive.
I
what was his name again?
literally feel like the worst person alive because now I have to go through old Discord. I'll know it as soon as I see it. I know who it was. They're in voice chat with us, but like just the
Is
fucking
it
team
Vander?
name. Is it what? No, Vanderlyle. That's it.
I
Thank
made that
you.
name up.
Vanderlyle did
No,
it.
I'm joking. It is Vander.
Yeah, it's Vanderlyle. He was a fucking legend. He lent it to me straight away. I'm a horrible person for forgetting your name, Vander. I'm so sorry.
It would
But
be so good if we could get him on the stand right here, but I believe he's been put into witness protection.
yeah. So fair enough. So
If he's so hurt,
if
too.
you say I've
Should we be
abused
identifying the victim here?
Sorry.
Should we be identifying the victim here? I don't know.
I think
It's a kangaroo
point.
court, mate. Like
Yeah, just fucking. It's all done. The jury's made its mind up already. As soon as I walked in the room, they wanted to convict me. No, but I'm very big on paying my debts back. I still remember I don't borrow money very often in WoW. I hate to do it. I'm not hunk. And
Now he's picking on people who aren't here to defend themselves.
yeah, I'm trying. Well, what do you think,
Look
mate?
at this guy.
Half of fucking court is deflection, mate.
Well, yeah, the people would just like to be, shown that there's going to be stronger leadership going forward.
Right. Okay.
They're,
Well,
they're alarmed.
to be
They're
fair,
alarmed.
I actually take issue, and I'm going to charge you with a crime. While we're pointing fingers, I'm going to charge you with a crime here, Ubiquitous. Because you keep saying that I'm the guild leader when I'm very much so not the guild leader. You, who wants to sit there and absolve yourself of all forms of fucking responsibility, you are the
Canary
guild
M.
leader.
Corbett.
Yeah, well, I'm showing no signs of weakness, but you're like you're the CIA. You're really the puppet master. You make all the moves, and hey, if I get 2 out of line, maybe I'll get popped. We don't know.
I gotta make a meme. I'm gonna have to make a meme.
How's guild leadership? I presume this is your first time running a guild, Ubi, or is that a horrible presumption to make?
I was GM for a little bit in TBC when the other guy had to quit for a bit, but I mean, I don't really know what we're running here. It's just I think we've opened a farm and let all the animals in, and no
Mate,
one's maintaining
we're
anything.
just running off of good vibes.
Yeah, the only thing I've done is change the officer rank to orange belt. That's about it. It's the only contribution
Yes.
I've made.
So does that rank make more sense now, Marcus?
Yeah, it does.
Very good.
It's been a pleasure running this circus for everyone.
There you go.
It's very
Everyone
funny.
forward your complaints to Yubi and now he's already. I know we're not talking about Endgame, and we're not even. I mentioned raids the other day, and everyone justifiably flipped out because I said something like, "Oh, it's actually cool with the world server. Like we can still technically all raid at the same time if we really wanted to. Not that it's convenient for everyone, but everyone said raids. You can't talk about raids, and you're like, you're right. Yeah, we'll talk about that much later down the track. But Yubi's already devising his loot process that filters everything to him, right?
Let's not fucking make
Don't
rumors
joke.
up.
Don't joke. Don't plant
No,
that seed.
My grand plan is that when Arcos gets online and loves this game, he will bring his horde of fucking sweaties over, and they can be the guild raid team, and they can just go do their thing, and the rest of us can just be a bunch of fucking monkeys in the tree, not caring. So that's the grand plan.
Very good.
How
It's
do
like,
we get loot though?
yeah. So how do we get the loot? How do we benefit?
Where
from
are
the
our
system?
ill-gotten gains?
Oh, they'll run us through at miraculous speed, I'm sure. We'll just be running behind the pack.
Have you had any word with Arcos yet? Is he back off from holiday?
He's not back, but he made me.
Mm,
He asked politely.
yeah.
I have 6 character names saved for him.
Oh, here we
So
go. Are you
he
fucking
didn't just
serious?
ask for Arcos, he asked for all the Arcoses. So he's ready to rock when he comes back.
So he's in. Is it fair to say he's in?
He's gonna play, and I'm just still taken aback that he needs 6 names reserved, just in case.
So he's sweaty, not even in his gameplay, but his name reservations.
Yeah, he's on holidays in Italy, and he's like, you know what I need right now? 6 names reserved for me on a private server that I'm not playing for 2 weeks.
Fuck, he's got issues. He's got so many fucking issues.
I love it. I respect it. So no, it's
dear.
we've gotten shout out to Zoran. Zoran's
Yep.
jumped in and having a look. So
Zoran's on
we've got a
board.
few. Yeah, we've got a few cold country boys playing now.
Very good. Boys, back to the game. That was a huge tangent. Thank you so much for dealing with us for a little bit of a
It was
laugh.
a good
there.
laugh.
Look, I mean, let's keep the laughs rolling. I'll get back to your classes later and your reviews of the content. Give me some funny stories. I'm going to ask everyone in the crowd to get your minds moving. I want to hear funny stories from the stories of triumph or tragedy over the last week with this server. Please put your hand up in the crowd if you've got one, and I'll get you involved here. I'll try to think of some myself as well. Does anything immediately come to mind for a good laugh of what you've seen over the last week?
There were things, but my choice to have lack of sleep at the means of more game time means that my brain's not working. There was some funny shit in the last few days.
Gigantor says he drowned Voodoo out of boredom. Voodoo, do you recall this?
I do, yes.
Can you confirm or deny?
He's an arsehole. I can confirm he's a complete arsehole.
Yeah, you thought your character could live underwater.
I put him on follow for 30 seconds. I get back, and I'm underwater, gasping for air.
I love it. I just want to say as well, we get it out there. Yubi, go for it.
The evolving story of me dragging Voodoo around Desolus and how that was so funny, and then
That's
the next
exactly
day,
what I was going to bring up.
Voodoo and Gigantor teamed up, and
Yeah.
Voodoo became me, and
Can you-
Gigantor was the Voodoo.
Yeah, can you tell this story with a bit of fucking flair? Become an entertainer for me, Yubi. Start from the beginning and tell people about the Voodoo experience.
So we're questing in Desolus, and this poor bastard or moron, you can decide, was still trying to level as a chicken. And I had discovered the power of Arcane Mage. So we're running around questing. There is definitely there's an output share, I would guesstimate around 94-6 in terms of things dying and progressing through the quests. And Voodoo was also just completely oblivious to anything we had to pick up, where we were going. He was just he could have been on follow and innovated me if he had the spell yet, and it would have been more productive. So anyways, I just sounded like the grumpy, do this, do that, what are you doing? Over here, idiot. And he was just bumbling along, which is great and dandy. And then the next day I come home from work, and Gigantor and Voodoo have teamed up in Stranglethorn Vale. And now Voodoo was the grumpy dictator, saying, "What are you doing? Fucking it's too slow.
It was
I don't
so
even have
funny.
this quest. Like,
It
where do
was
I get
so-
this quest?"
It was literally like 100% like the same things being said, but reversal of roles. I was in voice chat listening to all of this over the 2 days. Ubiquitous, like losing his mind at Voodoo, as Voodoo's like, "Oh, when did you get over there? Oh," and then they clear through all the mobs, and he's like, "Oh, I never had this quest to start with." And just
we
all
killed,
this shit.
we killed like 32 mobs in the corner of Desolus, and he's like, "What are you killing these for?" And it was fucking. My
And he goes,
God.
"What do you mean you didn't pick up the quest?" And Yubi is losing his fucking mind, like wanting to just lose it to Voodoo. And 24 hours later, to hear Gigantor saying the same things as Voodoo lost his mind, as Gigantor's like, "I'm just going to go over here for a little bit." "No, we need to go this way. What are you doing?" "Do you think like I can just kill this bloke and he drops it?" "No, we're meant to be on the other side of the map." "What do you mean you
Yeah.
don't have the quest?"
We both got taken for a Gigantor spin yesterday. We did it. He was in our mines run, and that was fine. Other than the hunter pet seemingly wanting to run around on its own and pull things, but then afterwards, there's that tiny island in just outside the bay of Booty Bay, and there's a level 50 elite on there, some giant fella. And Gigantor was saying, yeah, it's a quest, go and kill him, and he drops something. So he swindles us out there. We're like level 39, 43, and 44. We fight this guy for like 8 minutes. Voodoo dies fucking 3 times. We're kiting him around with frost traps in the ocean, swimming and blinking everywhere. The guy dropped nothing, not even lootable, I think. Oh no, he just dropped Voodoo like 3 sets of clam meat.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it was
Exactly
like
what
the
I wanted.
greatest adventure for nothing that I've ever been a part of. So
You've been
it's
Gigantor.
just been the last few days have been a shambles.
Yeah, very good. I love it. I love everything about it. Guys, hit me with your stories. I see what's saying in chat. This is not my story, but when the 63 or so bands went out earlier for gold buying, today someone in the guild piped up that the guy that they were partied up with suddenly went offline without warning during the ban wave. And it has been fun. Like someone made the very correct point that like we do glaze this server because of the public nature of the bands, and everyone claps their hands together and goes, "Yeah, get 'em, boys, get 'em, Dad, get 'em." As you see, banned gold buying, banned gold selling, banned cheating, banned hacking, all that stuff. And it's Blizzard, so we're told, was banning accounts by the thousands, but obviously it's not done as publicly facing, and so we just kind of had to take their word for it that it was happening. It's just funny that obviously the Blizzard servers are still inundated with bots. I won't have that diminished in any way, but it's not like Blizzard wasn't in the business of banning people, but we do suck off the private server because of the way in which it's done. We all love the public execution, and like I love it as well, don't get me wrong, but I sort of like I won't as much listen to someone who's like, "Oh, how good are all these bans going on the private server? Blizzard never bans anyone." And Blizzard does ban people. It's just they need to do a much better job of it.
Yeah, I think it's genuinely like a change that is a community buff.
Yeah,
having the server
agreed.
text pop up and
Agreed.
the world channel going like "rip bozo" every fucking time someone gets banned. It's just
Would you
funny to
prefer
see.
Blizzard did it that way? Did it
Well,
publicly?
But what if the
Yeah,
chat then?
I think it would be funny.
What if the chat then like wouldn't stop moving because of the volume?
I think it hasn't shown up much for. Well, cheating could probably be botting, but I reckon they could do it for like just gold buyers. Like send out the gold buyer ban with the name.
Yeah.
I don't really care if it. I don't want to see it saying, "Oh, banned XXYYZZWW for botting because it's just like a random hunter bot.
Can
Who
I
cares?
bring up a controversial one? Now, look, the post went out yesterday of the level 60 with the Epic mount already 12 days into the server, right? People will be split on this. Probably more people side on the, yep, totally doable, that's all good. But a decent proportion of people are like, something smells funny with that. And I want to ask you guys as a group where you fall on this argument. When you see something like, and this has been an argument that comes up a lot in the RMT space, where people say, but theoretically, of course you can do it. That's easy. And a lot of those kinds of arguments get used to hand wave away RMT activity. I'm not saying this is RMT. I'm just saying, like, in the past, I'll give you a great example. When SOD first came out, literally almost the same situation, just not with a mount. 10 days into the server's life cycle with SOD, there was a guy running around. He was like a level... No, wait. I'm lying. This was hardcore, not SOD. My bad. When official hardcore first launched, about 12 days, 10 to 12 days into the server's life cycle, there was a guy running around Stormwind about level 40, full BOE blues, and like good BOE blues, like all the shit that is coveted. I took a screenshot of it and I put it up on Twitter and I mentioned it in the Discord and I said, like, fuck, I hate cunts like this. Like, it's so disgustingly obvious that he's buying gold. Like, people just don't have the money for these very high price ticket items and he's got them all, baby. And he just wants to buy and basically, for my, by my deeming, cheat his way to 60 on a hardcore server. I'm just wondering if I can tell this story. Let's just say that I got some pushback to that post saying, hey man, you can't prove that guy bought gold. So don't publicly execute him like that. You're kind of, we all know that the poor internet etiquette of content creators with large followings dragging people where, sicking their crowd onto them. And you don't want to do that as a content creator. It's not, don't use your follower base to bully people, even though I've literally just done that on this episode by playing that video for you, haven't I? But like I said, I feel like that guy was doing that intentionally.
He'll appreciate the views. He might get over 300.
This was a bit of an exception. That was an exception in that I do think that might have been intentional, and that's the only reason I played this video, for a bit of a laugh. But back to this example, I do understand, absolutely, because I've been critical of content creators in the past who are like, and that's why so many subreddits have rules of like, do not name players for bad behaviors. For their bad behavior, we're not here to brigade people or whatnot. I do get it. But I was also sort of like, but at what point can you just flat out name and shame people? When it is beyond obvious that someone has bought gold, why can their name not be published? I've always been bothered by that because people say, but you can't prove it. And I just do the common sense argument of like, no one can prove anything unless you're the dev. But I, as a player, am not allowed to say, hey, this guy with 3,000 gold after 6 days on the server is probably buying gold. I always just had a little bit of an issue with that. But anyway, I move on and I digress. I'm not saying this guy with the epic mount on Project Epoch after 12 days bought gold. I am not saying that. I genuinely want to, as a fan, hear the discussion back and forth on whether you guys think he may or may not be suspect. Do you guys genuinely see that and go, yep, what a fucking baller. He knows how to make 1,000 gold real quick. Not only leveled to 60, but fucking got the 1,000 gold in 12 days. What a legend. Or do some of you go like, whoa, I'd have some questions to ask about that one. Please go ballistic.
I'm not sure if it's the right word for it, but it's like, it's plausible enough that you can't definitely like nail it to them.
Hmm.
And I'm only saying that because of how much RMT they ban. If this was a Blizzard server, I would just assume that he bought the gold, to be honest. But I would imagine, like, there's only 100 level 30s on, level 60s on at the moment, or around there. Like, I would assume that someone that hit 60 that quick would kind of be under the most spotlight. Like,
Yeah.
you're harder to blend in with the crowd when you're just, there's so few of you anyway. So I'm kind of just going with the, you know, assuming that he's innocent, because the odds would be, mind you, it's like, if, I don't know if it makes it better or worse if he's one of the only people with a mount, because then you would think, well, maybe he is actually just the AH kingpin thus far on his leveling journey, or maybe he got a blue that some other, like maybe he's the guy that sold his Staff of Jordan for 100 gold, and the other dude that only had 100 gold blew his whole wealth on that item.
Well, that's what it would require. And I was going to go there, Yubi. Let me throw this chum in the water for argument's sake, and just sort of say, like, theoretically, where does this gold come from? Because of course there's quest gold and everything. That's great. And you can go out and grind for fucking hours and get 50 gold an hour selling greys. 100% theoretically, it is very doable. It's the time, like just hitting 60 alone, forgetting earning the 1,000 gold is very impressive within 10 to 12 days. That's great. You're one of the first 100 people on the server to hit 60. You're a gamer. That's great. But to have collected the gold along the way, or you obviously hit 60 and go, I'm going to grind for 2 days and get the gold. It is doable, but you also sort of partially, for me, guys, please tell me if you think I'm crazy for saying this, the auction house is knocked out a little bit, because I'm kind of like of the theory that the other 60s are in the exact same boat as you. They're not spending money. They're saving money because they're all trying to get their epic mount first. So what are you throwing on the auction house? And number one, you're selling to an incredibly small niche market in that there's only 100 to 200 players on the server that are buying what you're selling at that higher level. But also number two, you're not in a seller's market because nobody's buying anything because they're all saving.
There's not enough gold in the auction house to support it anyways. But, I mean, we all know the real answer here. He obviously asked a guildmate, for the gold. So
that's another option, yeah.
It's a valid option, right? What I really think is, it's quest gold. There's so many more quests up in now in this game versus regular vanilla that he's obviously a degenerate enough that he got to 60 quickly enough that he's probably also running through those quests pretty quickly and just maxing out his quest gold at max level.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
And I would think if he's one, he gets the extra bonus cap for being level 60, so he gets more gold there. And obviously, if you're one of the first people with an epic mount, I think the GMs would be very looking at you closely.
100%.
So I think that it would be very suspicious if he did somehow get away with it and nobody caught him.
To be fair, I don't think he bought the gold, and I'm not saying that, but I'm more throwing it out there in the context of this argument, because just like you said, Vestige, and I'll sort of prod you a little bit further and just saying, because I'm more sort of sitting here going, am I so out of touch, or is it the children who are wrong? Am I so jaded to sit there and think that, like you say, you think he got help from the guildie? I would tend to agree with that. But if I sit here and say, here's the simple question, Vestige. Is it wrong or weird of me to raise an eyebrow over a player having hit 60 and have 1,000 gold 12 days in and not have that gold come from an outside source like a guildie? Like I'm saying, pure self-funded.
It's not wrong to be suspicious. But at the same time, if he was making the claim, hey, I'm the first one to do this, then I would say, okay, Pixar, shut up. Prove that you did it in some way that we can know that you are truly amazing to get it. But if it's just us saying, hey, this guy has it, I mean, unless you got proof against it, there's
no.
So yeah,
say,
okay, it's a little suspicious. And
I have no doubt this guy, like you say, grinded for hours at max level, getting all the quest gold and got help from guildies. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, but if you were to sit here and tell me, oh no, I just hate the players that go, oh, shut up, Josh. It's so easy to do this by yourself. Just go out and hit 60.
Oh, it's not easy.
It's
at
not.
all,
And like
but
people
it's-
like poo-poo
I
it
had
and
to
go
say,
like,
somebody who got to 60 that fast obviously plays the game a lot.
yeah, and they
So
poo-poo anyone.
They
Anybody
probably
that
were like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go play the game some more and grind out all this gold like a crazy person, and that's the only logical way I could think they could have done it.
yeah,
Like I agree, it's not hard to get 1,000 gold. It's not, but within the time frame.
that's the whole
that's where
point.
you're kind
But-
of like-
exactly.
But at the same time, the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of like, maybe. Because I don't know the class he was playing, by the way. I don't know what professions he went. Who knows what he was doing. But if he did go mining, there is a lot of people in that 20 to 30 and now 40 range that are buying tons of solid stone, that are buying tons of even coarse stone. So it's possible.
Absolutely. It's very possible. It's very, very possible. I'm not saying it's impossible or that this guy 100% bought gold. I don't think he bought gold. I
get that. I'm just saying, like, if I saw this guy, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, he bought gold. I'd probably be like, I want to know what you did, just because I'm curious. But
yeah, I always assume that like there's always those WoW finance bros where he bought like all the wolf meat day one for 40 copper and he sold all of it a day later for 80 and technically doubled his silver. Like my brand of Tism doesn't come with WoW auction house domination like some other people. I'm just too lazy for it. But yeah, there's just I always give that that allowance of there's always just a bunch of those dudes that every day he got on, he's running around with 1 silver but a gold worth of stuff that he sells for 2 gold the next day, and then he buys everything for 2 gold and then he makes that 4 the next day. Like there's just people that are that bothered.
I guess, but my whole thing is like, it's like with you, Yubi. I know we can only say what ifs and it's too hard to do it, but I'm like, you're a pretty fucking sweaty player. You're a good player. And I get that you've been, hampered in your leveling process by, fucking annoyances like work. But like, if you had had all this time off, right now I would guess that a player like you, who's, one of the sweatier guys I know, you'd be level 60 and maybe have like 300 gold on you. Which is why when I see the guy that like instantly gets his epic mount and has the 1,000 gold ready to rock and roll, I'm just kind of like, after 12 days, I go like, fuck, well, what?
No, I think he's probably that was probably like his goal. Like some people just set these weird, like it's like the person that loves to be the first level 300 first aid on the server, and it's like cool. Like that's just some reason that's just your dream. This guy probably was I want to have the first epic mount and go sit in Stormwind for like 15 minutes on it, and all the peasants can look at me. I feel as though like even me, if you made it, that was my launch quest, I could probably do it. Like, it wouldn't be that hard. And you'd do it in a cringe way. Like, I would have just AoE farmed and leveled that way. And then I would have been 60, like, AoE farming, like, a dungeon or some shit and making 100 gold an hour in vendor trash. But you'd get, like, it would make me want to jump off a bridge in game.
yeah, that's why I was curious what class he was.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing, I thought it was a warrior, but I mean, I didn't really check.
I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not naming him or even really talking about who it is because, like I say, I ultimately don't think they bought the gold, so I don't care who it is. But like in the past, I've had no problem naming and shaming people that I am very convinced have bought gold, and I've been taken to task about that in the past. But it still doesn't really change my thinking on like, I don't give a fuck. Like I've played enough WoW to like. I know people don't like this, and Voodoo and I had an interesting chat about this the other day in terms of bots, where like trying to get Voodoo to explain why this tune that he passed was a bot was one of the more interesting experiences of my life. As he spent I felt like we were doing the world's worst who's on first bit. As Voodoo goes like, "Oh, I found a bot," and I go, "Oh, really? How do you know it's a bot?" "Oh, it just is. I know." "Okay, but what's he doing?" "Well, he's just doing stuff." Yeah, okay,
He's
but
botting.
what's he actually doing? Well, he's acting like a bot. And I'm like, am I in a comedy routine here? Like, what is going on? It was very funny. But, it got to the...
What
the
was that story somebody shared on the Discord about somebody accusing somebody of being a bot and then getting themselves killed?
Oh, yes, that was a really good one. That was that Tsunami or what?
I can't
Can
remember.
you relay it? Do you remember the details? I vaguely remember Vestige. It was
I
something
remember
like
saying something like somebody was accusing somebody else of being a bot, and they were doing the hardcore challenge, and they were arguing back and forth, and then they wanted to duel them, accusing them of being a bot, and then somehow aggroed another mob during this whole argument situation, and ended up getting themselves killed on a hardcore challenge.
it's perfect. It was so funny. I'm just trying to find. Oh, here it is. It was Minoru. Yes, and you're spot on, Vestige, but I'll read it verbatim from Minoru because this is one of the better stories from the early life cycle of this server. Minoru goes, I just heard a story from my friend on something that happened earlier today. He was wandering around Thousand Needles looking for mining nodes when he reached one before another player. The other player accused him of being a bot, which he responded that he is most certainly not a bot. He's just upping his blacksmithing. The other guy said, well, you're just using ChatGPT to respond to me. And so the friend of mine said, fuck this, and put down the duel flag. The other player accusing him of being a bot accepted the duel, lost the duel, and aggroed a nearby mob and died. Turned out he was a hardcore character.
That was the funny shit that I was trying to remember earlier. That was the
Yes.
best thing that happened this week.
Easily. That is like chef's kiss, cannot beat that.
And the fact that he's at 1 HP and then a mob just comes up and just does one smack.
But that's getting to what I was bringing up. Like sort of,
I can just see it in my head.
this is getting to what I was going to say with Voodoo. And Voodoo, sorry, don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on you saying you can't tell a bot, but it was more a generic thing of like, I say the vast majority of WoW Classic players think they can identify bots. And they're very convinced that they know what a bot is, and they throw out the bot accusation very fucking regularly. But I don't think a lot of players truly know what bots look like. I think a lot of actual players get accused of being a bot because the average player doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm not saying you, Voodoo. You've played a lot of WoW. You generally know what a bot looks like, but getting you to explain why this fishing bot was a bot was like pulling teeth because you couldn't quite articulate why you thought it was a bot.
I'm not a smart man.
But I know what love is. Mike, sorry, you want to jump in at this point?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, brother.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Did you have something on this, or are you just jumping in general? Did you have something to say?
Oh, I was just jumping. I did have a funny story, but I'll sorry.
Okay, hang on. Sideline it for
interrupt.
1 second. I'll just finish this thing on bots. So what I'm getting at is, look, I do genuinely feel like that story from Minoru is not shocking to me at all, because I feel like I do actually see it every now and again of players that I'm either partied with or you see out in the world going, that guy's a bot. And I'll watch them for 5 seconds and go, it's blatantly not a bot, but fucking whatever, live your life. It's shocking to me that people don't realize what bots, generally act like and what they can and can't do. So yeah, look, I'm not sitting here saying like fucking I know and you don't. Again, high horse Josh, but like I've played so much WoW, it's disgusting. And I'm the meme. I'm the guy I'm now explaining where I'm like, most people think they know a bot. I'm now trying to tell you I know a bot, and thus I become the meme. But whatever.
Are you an orange belt?
I'm still a white belt. I'm working my way up to orange, slowly but surely. But let's just say that if we met in real life, I'd fold you like a fucking lawn chair.
Can we petition the devs to make a orange sash that we can put on in the cash shop?
Oh, when we build our tab art, it is 100% going to be orange at least.
It has to be.
That's the closest thing we're going to do.
It has to be.
Well, that's the closest we can get, sorry.
But there was somewhere else I was going with that whole bot thing, but I can't remember. Oh, you guys said you Voodoo, you said that was the first bot you had seen, the phishing bot. Now, look, I'll
First
give
one, yeah.
just for comedy purposes, I'll give you a second stab, Voodoo, now at explaining why this guy was a bot. Go for it.
It's hard to explain that. So
More of a feeling.
it is a feeling, and then when they
the
respond
vibe.
to you, you just know by the way they talk, the actions he was doing. I mean, for starters, he's 14. in
Red
the south
flags,
of
red flags,
Stranglethorn.
but red flags already at when he started talking to me. You just knew. Okay, keep going.
No, he didn't. I started the conversation with him, and then after being
But
with
you
him,
had
for
a conversation.
little
But you had a conversation with him.
bit. Oh, kind of, not
Yeah, and
really.
don't get me wrong, bots are able to converse. I get that.
They are,
it's
and
but
it's very,
it's
like,
already
very
a bit of an
broken.
bit of an odd one.
And then I thought, okay, so me and Gigantor, accidentally were fighting things beside him, and he died from one of the mobs. And then as he came back,
Wait. First of all, you bullshit. You said this is a fishing story.
yeah, he was fishing. So
Was he fishing or fighting? What's going on?
no, he was fishing. We were fighting stuff near
Okay.
him, but
All right.
the thing that we were fighting spawned ads that killed him.
See, the story keeps changing. This is where the part of the problem. But anyway, keep going.
And then every time we came back, he was on. There was more with him. Like Gigantor saw more with him.
More what?
And then
I
more
already
other-
don't know what's
other-
happening.
More other bots. This is when I was gone. Gigantor saw more guys with him.
Okay, wait.
then as-
I'm sorry, mate. I have to stop you. We're going to do the prosecutor thing. Let's start again.
Okay.
You and Gigantor, we're painting a picture here. You and Gigantor are fighting mobs. You're questing, you're grinding, right?
Yeah.
All right. You are near a body of water. Is that correct, sir?
Correct. That's where you can fish.
Very good. That is correct. That is true. Now, next to this body of water, you spot a player fishing. Correct.
Your
Okay,
Honor.
very good. Very good. Yes. Now, please continue. Tell the story from here.
So for starters, he was 14, level
Okay.
14.
Okay. And what level
is
were
a little
you?
bit
What
low.
level were you?
Oh, I'm going to say it in our early 30s, maybe.
All right. What's
STV, right?
STV? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Where in STV? Where in STV?
Near the north of the pirate,
North of the pirates.
where all the boats are, where you got to get into the pirate boats and stuff like that.
Would that be Zanzel's location for that quest? Like in the
You mean just
Right
east?
there.
You mean just east of Booty Bay on the coastline there?
But north of that. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
where
There's
Marcus is saying.
a little pocket where pirates won't aggro you in between the sea monster and the pirates.
Yeah, and if you go north of that, there's like these like little zombie things.
Yeah. I know exactly where you are. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah,
So just there.
yep.
And then I saw him fishing. I was like, oh, he seems really low to be fishing. And then I was like, hey, what's up, bot? And straight was like,
Great start.
oh, hi. No bot.
No, wait.
Right.
Okay, stop. I'll stop you there. Okay, I'm sorry, mate. We're gonna really get into this. Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun. Voodoo, what did you see that made you say hi bot when you just said you just saw a man fishing?
Just had a feeling.
He just had a feeling.
He knows the look of him.
Yeah.
So it was the level mainly that made you think this guy was a bot.
It was a suspicion to me.
No, but I'm
yeah.
saying you haven't seen anything outside of his low level that has made you think he's a bot at this point.
Well, I saw, when you cast your rod, like you cast your rod.
Oh, hang on. You didn't.
and-
Again, the story's being added to. We didn't get this before, but okay,
no.
go
I'm
for it.
just adding a little bit to it. But my first inclination was he's too low to be here fishing, but he could just be here genuinely fishing.
Okay,
You just don't
so
see
the
it often,
question
right?
is, what did you see that made you think he was a bot? That made you say hello, bot?
No, that was just more of I'm gonna like incriminate him. Like,
Well, no, but
first.
you just started saying you saw something funky with his casting.
This is while I was talking to him. Right?
Okay, all right. So we're not there yet.
Not there
Okay,
yet.
okay, that's fine. That's all
So
good. That's all good.
I say sub bot just to kind of bring him out.
Yeah.
And go,
And this is a
incriminate
whisper?
Yourself. No, just said it.
Okay, and how quickly did he respond to you? How much time passed?
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
seconds.
And what was his response?
Hi.
Okay, sorry, you're making me flex my prosecutor muscle that I haven't flexed in years, so I'm enjoying it. Even though this isn't quite as aggressively as I would prosecute, it's still a bit of fun. So he says hi. What was your next response?
No, I didn't say anything. And then his second thing he said was "me not bot."
Okay, what was was there any passage in time between the first and the second response?
A few seconds.
A few seconds. All right. So hi, me not bot. What happened next?
Not much. I didn't say anything back to him. I don't think. I just watched
Josh
him. And then
Corbett ended the chat, more or less. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So how long did you then proceed to sit there and observe him?
Couple of minutes.
Okay. What did you see in those couple of minutes?
So you know when you throw your fishing line out,
Yeah.
and it just it casts out, it does its thing, and you click on the thing when the bobble goes.
Yep.
It would do it it would cast out really quick 6 or 7 times for some reason.
Right.
And
so
then
like he was spamming the fish button.
It was kind of, and then he'd sit there and then it would fully cast again, and then it would do it in a succession again the same amount of times, and then whether he caught something or not, I don't know, but it just was really weird, super spammy motions. It wasn't a normal
that's
fishing
fair.
thing at all.
My suspicion would be peaked at this point as well. So you're saying basically every time he intended to fish, he opened his fishing with spamming the button 6 or 7 times and then waiting for the thing.
Yeah, you'd see the rod flick heaps of times really quickly, and then it would stop and he'd start fishing.
Right, and then he'd go 12 seconds, get his fish, and then do it all again.
Do it all again, and then that's when I was like, okay, we're gonna start fighting some stuff near him.
Right, and so every time for 2 minutes, it was very clear he's just slamming that fish button and then chilling.
Yep.
Okay. I turn to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. What are our thoughts on this one?
That's a bot.
I'm with you. I tend to think that is very odd behavior and leads me to think bot more than not. Iconoclastic is saying that's normal behavior if you're using one-button fishing. I'm not familiar with one-button fishing, so I can't really comment on it too much.
I know you can get
what's
add-ons
the,
in that for fishing, but I don't know what they do. I've never used
Yeah,
them.
Icono is going to explain. Icono, hang on, here he is. What?
What's the legal thing for we're just being way too assumptuous about the environment that it's set in? That's the red flag for me. A level 10 in STV on the 5th day of the server or whatever.
That was the first thing you see. It's that's not normal.
It is abnormal, but it's not. It is that one has plausible deniability because you can explain it away. Some guy just going there to fucking make money. You know what I mean?
It doesn't mean you're a bot if you're there at that level.
It doesn't. It doesn't mean
that. But it's just that sparks my interest straight away.
And it would have sparked mine as well. Icono, explain this one button. I'm aware of the one button add-ons for fishing, but I've not really used them. Go for it.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So are you familiar with the interact with target key?
Yes.
Okay, you can use that to pick up your fishing lure without having to mouse over.
That's right. But what about the opening with 6 casts in a row?
So in order to set that up, your lure needs to be in the exact right place. So you're going to be standing close to the edge of where it possibly could land, and you spam it.
So is this an add-on of some sort, or is it
Yeah, it's an add-on. The plot thickens. So people, because I'm very aware of the one button fishing add-on. Just because I'm not an avid fisherman doesn't mean I haven't been aware of this thing. I've just not really used it, like I said. But Icono, if you're saying you do this and it's not strange within that little fishing community to sit there and spam until the bobble's in the middle of your screen?
Just to give a little elaboration. So the interact with target keybind has a 15-yard or so max distance. But a fishable target needs to be at least 10 feet away from you.
Right. Oh, I tell you what, the defense is raising I don't know if we've gone beyond a reasonable doubt here. You just had a spanner thrown in the works, Voodoo.
Oh, no, he goes to prison.
Caught fishing in WoW, straight to prison.
Yeah. Was this character your character by any chance?
Yeah, you've gotten a very small microcosm of how fucking hearings work, where Icono's just created enough doubt in your mind to have you thinking, "Can I fucking convict this guy?"
Hey,
love
I'm
it.
all for locking them up, but I hope you have more to go on just than spamming the fishing button.
Very good. Very, very good. All right, Voodoo, fucking jury's out. Mate, but that's sort of more getting to my point is like with bots, you need pretty, like most players dive on the smallest crumb of fishiness. Oh, you're a bot. Oh, you're a bot. Oh, you farted. You're a bot. And I
My
just,
defense, have you ever heard me call out other bots previously like that?
oh,
I'm not a big accuser of that.
no, I've heard you called Yubi a bot, but
That's just his gameplay.
Fair.
oh dear. Anyway, all good. Yeah, but what I was getting at is outside of that fishing experience, Voodoo and guys, have you seen, with one more week has passed, have you seen any bots in the world?
No, nothing.
Nope, nothing.
No, zero.
Me.
Seen a lot
I
of
see
bad.
one. I was pretty sure, but there's always that element of doubt, and I'd imagine that they would be gone now if they were one.
I've seen a lot of keyboard turners, but no bots.
Oh yeah, seen a lot of keyboard turners.
As a proud keyboard turner, I say, how dare you fucking speak ill of my people?
I feel like keyboard turning immediately bans you from tanking. Not allowed. Tank license revoked. Not allowed to operate that hero.
My hybrid keyboard turning, mouse turning gameplay triggers a lot of people, but anyway, it's a bit of
Especially Arcos.
oh, so much so with Arcos. To be fair, when I had to finally really explain to Arcos why I do what I do, and he was a little bit more on board with it when I explained the function of my MMO mouse and how much activity flows through my right hand. He did start to get it a bit more, but like I could tell he was still not quite as on side, but gave me a little bit of a tolerant pass. But anyway, so what's next, guys? Let's go back to, and just before we go back to the class stuff, any more fun stories? Anyone got a nice tale to tell?
Yeah, I have a short, I thought pretty humorous one.
All right, now it better be funny now that you've said that. You're in trouble here. Go for it.
So I was just grinding. You know the really like condensely packed troll ruins up in northern Stranglethorn.
Yeah.
So I was all the way up at the top of the ruins, just grinding mobs, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this undead rogue. Just trying. He just runs into just a pack of mobs and dies within like 10 seconds. And I'm like, all right, that was a little weird, but I just keep going. And about 30 seconds later, presumably after he ran back from his corpse, I see him appear up on like the rocks away. I see him keyboard turn towards me, point at me, and then I get a whisper of, "You help! You help!" And I was like, and then I hover over him, and I see he's level 33, trying to fight level 40 mobs, and I go, "Mate, why are you trying to solo a pack of 3 level 40 mobs at 33?" And I just get it. I am elite, and I'm like, all right, this guy clearly doesn't speak English.
Clearly, you're not if you're asking for help.
And I'm just like, all right, I'll help you. And I just go into bear form, just fucking charge in, tank the mobs for him, and he's like, "Thank very much." Instantly leaves and runs off, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Very good. Very good. I had a fun one that I let you guys know about last night when I rocked up to Shadowprey Village for the first time. And, crafters just need to be aware of this. I had heard of this bug, but I got to experience it in the flesh for the first time now look, let me ask a weird thing. I got taken to task by this fucking pack of hyenas. I've played for 6 years with an auto quest add-on, that automatically accepts and hands in quests. And I am firmly of the belief that a lot of fucking players use this. And these jokers, being Voodoo and Yubi, try to convince me that nobody plays with it.
A lot of people use it, but they're the kind of people that fuck your escort quests up.
True, but you turn it off.
people.
You turn it off when you come to an escort quest.
But
Yeah.
they never do.
I do, because I'm a fucking gamer. But anyway, so these guys, the hyenas, the jackals, the fucking peanut gallery, giving me all this shit about using a fucking auto quest add-on. And I'd still read the quests. You just read them after you fucking pick them up. But anyway, I go to Shadow Prey, and I'm wearing my red-hot blue robes of power that I crafted with my fucking... It's actually not that bad. Your 2 bolts of Mage Weave, 2 elemental, air, fire, water, earth, and, that's it. And it's a red-hot piece. Please, all you clothy crafters, if you've got tailoring... do not, like, the moral of this server is please just level your professions as you level. Like, there's so much powerful stuff in there that will be good for you that you can't just bank on dungeon drops. If you're not leveling your crafting as you level, you're fucking your own experience. And I'm not going to hear people bitch about leveling or being underpowered when they're not crafting. Just like, shut the fuck up and do the new content. I'm so sick of this shit. Not that people are complaining it. I'm just being overly aggressive for no reason, but do it. But anyway, I'm wearing my flash robes of power and I speak to this, random troll off in the corner of fucking Shadow Prey. And I hit the you see the big exclamation point, and I go, howdy doody, let's see what quest you've got. And very, very quickly, in like a quarter of a second, you see like the box come and go super quick, and it said something robes of power and had the icon for my chest piece. And it hands it in straight away, and all of a sudden my character's sitting there half naked. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? It literally hands you, if you've got the item equipped, it will literally take the clothes off your back to hand it in as a quest turn in, which is a bug, obviously. But I sat there with my mouth on the ground, and I feel like this is the kind of thing that people would lose their minds over. I was pissing myself laughing, and I went to the guild chat straight away and told the guys I thought it was so funny. And I just literally crafted another one straight away. And like, okay, it cost me, it was actually nowhere near as expensive as I thought it would be. I crafted it initially when it was more expensive, but now that there's more mats on the AH, it cost me 60 silver to craft a new one. So I was like, whatever. Actually turned out in my favor because it was like 3.5k experience. And I paid 60 silver for it. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, fair trade. I'll pay that. But yeah, I had to laugh that, like, be careful. These fucking, these quest givers with the professions will take shit off your back. So just be aware of that.
That's amazing. No notes. Golf clap.
So good. Have you Muppets been crafting? Yubi, I know you have.
Well, I was, and then I put it on halt because, like, I needed to save my pennies for my horse.
Yeah,
and then now I've got my mount. The next time I'm back in town, I'm just gonna rip in because I do have a fuckload of Mage Weave. I have like 50 or 60 bolts at the moment to roll, but I need to just craft a few more silk bits to actually crack on to the Mage Weave stuff.
To be fair, you haven't given me enough shit for this, Yubi. You brought it up yesterday, and it's a very, very fair criticism to make of me when you go, you fucking warlocks and paladins can laugh it up all you want. Oh, look at me. I can keep my professions up to date. You don't have to spend gold on a level 40 mount, you fucking losers. Appreciate the different situation that everyone else is in. I do. I'm just saying, if you can afford it, please try and do it.
Yeah, they're worth doing. On that note, this is the latest I have ever gotten my level 40 mount, so there's definitely not an over influx of gold on this server. I got my mount at level 45, for God's sake.
And yes, Yak is correct, and Yubi, you would know this, us tailors and enchanters. The Staff of Affinity was a beautiful upgrade in that weapon slot.
Which fucking stuff?
Oh,
I don't know.
here we go.
I have got the Ring of Blood one, so I don't know what the crafting staff is.
No, there's an amazing crafting staff that you can get in the early 30s that is fucking beautiful
Okay,
from enchanting.
Yeah, my enchanting kind of capped out because I needed to start vendoring the greens, and a lot of them on Menethil were DEing for less than the vendor price, so I haven't got to DE much stuff lately. That's cool. I did see that enchanting can craft weapons now, so that's pretty cool.
Guys, any other new content that you've noticed and loved that we haven't shouted out? Any particularly fun little quests or anything?
Just new hubs. That's been appreciated.
Yeah, what zones have you found the hubs in that you've liked?
Tanaris, however you want to say it. It's fucking awesome. There's the old port by the sea is no longer just a dock with fucking 2 huts. It's much larger and like kind of, I would say it's almost rivaling Gadgetan. And then there's another village down south, and they use that southern coast space a lot more thoroughly, and just that town's pretty fucking cool too. I don't know if that's just a horde town, but it's all just trolls and stuff, so maybe. That's super cool. Even the entrance to it is pretty interesting with the local hive of bugs nearby.
Anyone else?
I don't want to spoil it. Someone else will, when you get there, you'll go, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Fair enough. Anyone else on this one? Any other cool little quests or zones you found? No, that's all right. Guys, we'll round up on the classes and then we'll talk a bit of shit. We talked about mage. We've mentioned a little bit with warlock. People when they go into battlegrounds, they feel like the dots feel a bit underwhelming given the players' health pools. Let's go druid, voodoo, Mike. What have you noticed? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
I think druid's been playing really well.
Yeah.
Balance was pretty clunky.
Yeah, don't level as chicken unless you like.
Don't ever level as chicken. You're a serial killer if you do. I think it was gross. But the only thing I think with druid, and that might be with whatever or whoever said this before, with like the talents not giving us the right percentages, it just feels like the bleeds aren't as powerful as what they once used to be. That used to be like top of my damage was bleeds, and now they're not. So there must be something going on there.
Even like you're thinking in a TBC Wrath world.
Yeah, like they're always up there on my in my details as one of my highest damage dealers, and now they're not.
I'd say especially in a TBC Wrath world, especially TBC anyway.
All right, Mike, have you noticed this? Mike's okay.
Not really, mainly because I don't really look at I don't actually dive into the damage meters. I'm so blissfully ignorant with this class and just learning everything. I'm just like, doody, this is fun. Everything is new.
Fair enough. Well, you've been telling everyone you've been having a lot of fun with the druid, even though you're a druid newbie, right?
Yeah, it feels good. You have so many buttons, so many goddamn buttons, changing forms, everything. Just like I'm just trying to get used to just like being able to just switch out of forms to like save yourself. Just being able to heal yourself has just been like such a different experience to me as generally playing classes that can't heal themselves.
It's wild. Like, I mean, you're not alone there. I mean, everyone knows this with Warlock. I often say Warlock has the most buttons in the fucking game. But like, I'm level 37. I use 48 keybinds, and I think 40 of my 48 slots are already taken at level 37, and I don't have all my spells yet. Like, it's fucking wild. I've got stuff I don't have on my hotbars yet that I'd like to have on my hotbars. Like, realistically, Warlock easily can use 60 keybinds. It's pretty crazy. Where are we? Marcus, how's your priest been?
It's the same as classic at the moment. We don't really get a whole lot. Like the smite specs just starting to come online now. Vestige might know a little bit more about it, but I kind of wish we got some of that healing toolkit a little bit
Yeah.
earlier, like prayer mending or something.
Yeah.
Just, give me something new that's not too impactful.
Vestige says the priest basically been as to be fair, they advertised in that, yeah, you can smite a bit more while leveling now, but we're not going to make it like strong or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm able to solo better. The pushback resistance is nice on Smite and Holy Fire now, so it makes it a lot more viable to just grind with it. But I'm just finally got the points into the extra spell damage for Spirit conversion, so I'm rocking like 80 spell power now, which is nice. It's leveling a lot nicer, so I appreciate that. It lets me be able to stay holy and not have to force me to go shadow.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
And just a different lifestyle to that kind of like dot and wand play style.
Yeah, pretty much where it used to be you may be opened up with Holy Fire through a Shadow or Pain and then wanded to death. That was pretty much your priest leveling experience. So at least now you can kind of...
The one spec was busted. Are you sure it's busted? Because I'm about to respec.
I think it is. I haven't been able to do the math, and that's probably part of the problem is the respec cost is pretty high, so I don't really have the stomach to test.
Well, I already got like a 1 gold respec, so I'll just do that, and I'll let you know.
On that note, let's just quickly dive down that tangent. It has been a pretty fiery talking point over the last week or so on the subreddit for Project Epoch about these costs for either respecing talents or turning off war mode. I'm more than open to the conversation. I wouldn't say I feel like amazingly strongly one way or the other. I do see the benefits of both sides of the argument. And I guess I could kind of say I'm here for the taking argument-wise. But I haven't had any major drama. I don't love the respec costs as they are, but I haven't had a major drama with it on the same note. The war mode costs, like I said, I feel like it probably should have been more like the talent costs, respecing costs, but like I understand why they did it, but it's pretty, penalizing for people who don't know what's going on to turn it off. How do you guys feel about this raging argument about everything's too expensive on this server?
I think respecing and the cost of it is probably going to suffer from like the modernization of how accessible all the information is, because like it was a barrier and like class or spec identity, yada yada yada. The problem is now it's like, let's just say we hit up C+ and they're like, we've changed fucking everything, and it turns out like, I don't know, melee hunters are just cracked at leveling. Like you just shred things in 5 seconds, don't roll BM. There's going to be 49 million hunters that just go BM because it's what you did in Classic, not knowing that it's new. But then the information cycle coming out so quick on YouTube, everyone's going to want to switch and change to what's good and try different things. So I don't know. I think it leans into getting to experiment more.
Yeah.
As well as like people are going to obviously want to change. And I don't know if you should be so heavily penalized because you didn't guess right. You know what I mean? There's 3 specs and sorry, you didn't pick the right one.
Yeah.
I think that kind of sucks for players.
For what it's worth, I would bet dollars to donuts that Blizzard will stick with their cheaper prices that they had attached to SOD. They lent really heavily into the ethos of we want people changing and trying new things, and like they really, I think they enjoyed the difference there. So I would put the house on them having cheaper respecs again in whatever they do next. So it has been a little bit jarring going from SOD to this and then maybe back to what the SOD pricing was in a year's time. How do you guys feel? Vestige, you had a bit to say on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting because it's supposed to be a server of all new things, stuff to try, stuff to play with, new experiences, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of hard to do that when you're gated behind gold. And we can't just freely, and I get we can't just freely do it, but I mean, we can't experiment and try different specs and different talent choices and things like that without a severe cost right now to our income, and we need that for mounts and things like that. So it really feels punishing in a way that we can't explore all these new different things that they've offered to us. And so I was the same way with war mode, where I was like, I went to go turn war mode off because we went to the new server merge and like, this ain't for me anymore. And I was like, 10 gold? Oh my gosh, I'm never trying that again. Like, I can't. And I'm telling everybody else too, don't do war mode unless you want to commit to that because you can't afford it probably. So stuff like that I feel is not a great look in my opinion for a server that's trying to be, hey, check out this new stuff over here, check out these new talents, check out these new abilities, and it kind of really gates you behind stuff.
Yeah, it's fair enough. And like, to be fair, even on my Warlock, like, you know, I'm not losing sleep over it, but of course there's been moments where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind trying Destro. Oh, but I'm not going to pay the gold to make that switch. I'll just keep plugging away with Affliction. So I understand where people are coming from. Anyone else on this one?
Yeah, I've got a pretty big gripe with like playing a hybrid class now, and someone that's just trying to get like the new experiences and everything. I hate that dual spec is 1,000 gold. I can't even begin to fathom. Like, yeah, I'm just like, I don't even know when I'll ever have a dual spec and I'll have 1,000 extra gold to do it. And like, what Ubiquitous was saying before with when we were doing Glitter Merc Mines, and I see our druid healer is deep resto, and that healers have to actually be in their proper healing spec to heal higher level dungeons now.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah. On just if I can grab you on that tangent, Mike, that more people on the subreddit and people in our Discord have started to notice and say, it seems that things take a turn in the mid-30s, and dungeons really do ask your tank and healer to maybe really preferably be spec'd that way.
So yeah, that adds to my point. It's just like, I would love to try to heal one of these dungeons at this level, but I don't want to have to respec every time I just want to heal a dungeon, and I'm never going to have 1,000 gold for dual spec. It's fucking ridiculous.
So what do you?
Dual
And
spec
now,
should be-
I don't feel this. Sorry, you go, and then I'll say what I got to say.
I know it sounds like a wild idea, but I was pondering earlier this week, like, what if dual spec was default, but to change either spec just starts very expensive from the get-go? So like you have two specs from the very beginning, but if you ever want to change either of them, it's just 50 gold forever, and that never gets cheaper.
No, I'd still have a big problem with that.
So what do you guys say, Vestige and Mike? I'm playing devil's advocate here. I do not feel this way, but I'm going to put it to you as though I do. What do you say to the players who make the counter argument of, you guys don't get it, this is part of the beauty of the game that you're not seeing, choice matters, you know, you want the guy in your guild to be known as a prot paladin or a resto druid or whatnot, identity matters, choice matters, locking people in and being punitive is a great thing because it's old school gaming and this stuff matters. Now, I just raised that because it is something I still see being raised as a counterpoint to this kind of argument. And we find a few fields where 2025 or modern gaming thought is leaving some, like, don't get me wrong, WoW Classic gamers do like a lot of the old school concepts, but there are some that are not coming along for the ride into modern gaming and things that are aging poorly. The argument around respecking costs is a great example of that. So when I say, you know, these guys are saying you guys are in the wrong, you don't understand how much identity matters, what do you have to say to that?
I don't want to have to wait 45 minutes to get a healer at level 50 because all of them respect damage to level and none of them want to go healing. So it's just a straight up gameplay design. And sorry, if that's one of those things that's stuck in 2004, that's just not the way things should be.
Unless the guild pays for my dual spec, you're going to be raiding with a PvP spec discipline smite hybrid priest.
My specific gripe with this server is they buffed everything on this server, so everything is hitting harder. So you actually have to be a dedicated healing spec to heal a dungeon.
Yeah.
If you were just able to, if you know everything wasn't hitting as hard, and you could just heal, you could heal a dungeon as whatever spec you wanted and have it not be too much trouble, I wouldn't be having this much gripe. But the fact that we did glitter merc mines and our tank got fucking one-shotted because bosses hit so hard, it's just like there's no way I could ever heal anything without going fucking bankrupt.
Yeah, damage is very spiky, especially on the bosses. And so you have to have the mana and healing to be able to do them in 5-man. It's no joke anymore. And I'm sorry, but some people don't want to level as a holy priest or a resto shaman or a resto druid or a holy paladin. That's not their enjoyment. So you got to do something.
Do you think
easy
the devs
access to dual spec, or you got to have cheap respec cost?
Do you think the devs will cave to this one?
No.
I think they
Probably
should.
not.
On this. I'm unsure, but if they were going to, they need to before you have a bunch of people pay for it, and then all those guys get butt hurt. But they'd probably reimburse them, I imagine.
Oh, I doubt it. I doubt
But
it.
they need to do it sooner because we're leveling
We're
now.
leveling. Yeah, it's going to be over. It's going to be over in a month.
Yeah, I don't know. It's feels like we've spoken about it on SOT a lot, and this would be exactly in that alley that we're talking about, Josh, of you could put it in, everyone could argue about it for fucking months before, you'd rock up, the server had dual spec like for free at level 40, no cost or whatever, and no one would give a fuck, and everyone would go, wow, this is fun, and just play the game. Like, it's such a cop-out answer, but dual spec is more fun, so that's my answer. Suck my nuts, fun is good, and struggle sucks sometimes. So I don't
play
know
a
why
class
it's
that could
so...
fill every role, and I would like to do that.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like it's a fake wall to argue around, in my opinion. Like, even the guys that argue against it would get it, and then they would somehow enjoy it themselves and never admit it.
I'd like to do some shadow PvP maybe. So I mean, good luck now doing that unless I'm going to start grinding the gold. So either we got to make a choice somewhere to make it more fun, and the goal is fun.
Guys, on that note, we'll start to wind it up and just sort of, I'll let you guys talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, if you want to fucking end here, we can end here. But I just wanted to more ask for my own benefit, not to do the meta thing, but as we sort of enter the more casual part of the podcast, have you guys noticed any healers or tanks in from the mid-30s onwards that have started to struggle more than others? Like, I've heard rumblings about, I don't know about holy paladins, but I'm talking about paladins who are spec'd ret trying to heal. So maybe that's, again, it comes back to just fucking, if you're going to heal, you might have to actually spec healer. But have you noticed any hamstrings in the tank or heals department at this point?
Yeah.
Like a healer that you prefer or don't like?
Oh, we had it with tanking, and it was just it was exactly how it was in TBC, where the last boss in Glittermerc hit so fucking hard that our prop pally got clapped in 0.2 of a second. And it's because, well, blocks are relevant when the boss hits for 1200. You're blocking 60 and he's still hitting you for 1200. So then we actually told him we benched him and we had Voodoo go bear and tank it. And we just did it with the bear tank because the extra 1,000 health and more armor was more powerful.
Yeah.
So I feel like if things are going to be hitting hard, like big chunks, then that's actually like a nerf to prop pally.
Anyone else on this that they've noticed from dungeons? Classes they don't like pairing with?
I've seen prop pally absolutely destroying dungeons because there's AoE tanking everything.
Yeah, they're good for all the trash and stuff like that. Like that's their peak value, I guess.
Yeah,
I do think the bosses are a little weird because, like you said, some of them hit really hard, really fast, and some of them, I don't know. But yeah, in general, just for dungeon grinding, I love getting a prop pally. They just suck up everything.
Maybe you should look at getting a bear next time.
I'm still trying to, not that I'm going to be doing it anytime soon, because I think I initially planned to level 2 characters side by side, but I realize I'm never going to get to 60 if I do that, so I'm just focusing on the Warlock. But I'm still trying to figure out what I really want to do, like for an alt. Like, I really could be anything, because quite frankly, a lot of it looks good. I keep saying, oh my god, I watch what Ubi does with his Arcane Mage, and I'm like, fuck, that looks fun. I watch all the hunters just shredding things to bits, and I'm like, fuck, maybe I want to be a hunter. then like, no, but I want to heal and I want to tank and I want to do it all and I can't make my mind up. So I'm ready to be won over by something. I don't know what it is though.
Yeah, once you go cat, you don't go back.
I hate cat. I don't know. I've never been on the cat train.
Maybe this time you might like it.
Cat druid's been fine. I could be easily swayed to any other spec as a druid at this point.
How dare you? Mike?
I'm unsure what I want to play because now that we've seen what people are getting, like, I want to play a paladin just to try it, and it's just like, fuck, it turns out they kind of suck the whole time until you're level 50 again. Like, I don't really like how many classes seem to just evolve in the last 10 levels.
Yeah.
Like, mages don't get Ice Lance until 56, so who the fuck wants to play Frost until then? And, like, that completely changes how the class operates, or that spec operates. And then, you know, same with Fire Mage. Besides the fact that it's just so much worse damage than Arcane, from what I can see, you just press fucking Fireball for 60 levels again. Like, I'm a bit disappointed on that front. It could have been made better, in my opinion, with just one more baseline ability for a lot of classes. Like, give Rets fucking Crusader Strike at level 10, and then the pally in my party last night, I said, just give him Divine Storm. And he's like, no, that's too OP. Just make the last talent in Ret that you can use Exorcism on any kind of mob. I said, oh, well, fuck. Email the devs. That's a decent idea. And then, like, you shouldn't have to wait till level 44 to use Crusader Strike as a Ret pally. That's just crazy.
I think locking a lot of the TBC talents behind level 50 plus is not great, in my opinion.
Oh, it's not even. Some of them like weren't even talents. They made Crusader Strike just baseline for paladins in the Burning Crusade.
No, that was the capstone, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Which one? Crusader Strike?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
What?
Yeah, it was.
Maybe I'm thinking of Wrath then. I don't know. Well, either way, it shouldn't be the capstone. It should just be the fucking.
No, it shouldn't. Definitely shouldn't be. But just like the general TBC abilities are all like level 50 plus.
Probably
and a lot of those redefined how you play your character and how you like do stuff, and so it's like okay, so you can't really unlock your potential until you're like level 50 sometimes.
Yep. Same thing with Rogue. Mutilate.
Yeah, I was gonna say
talent.
Rogue's an example that I can talk the best about. It's like they look like they're gonna be 10 times more fun than vanilla Rogue at 60 if you want them to be. But 1 to 60 it turns out it is still just go combat, press Sinister Strike for 60 levels, and if you have an ounce of extra energy to expend, you might maintain Slice and Dice. But like that's it. It's just go press Sinister Strike for 60 levels. Fucking you can't level as daggers. It's impossible until you get Mutilate at level 44. And then maybe you can pivot to Mutilate if you want.
You know what I'm
that's
hearing?
Just crazy.
You know what I'm hearing, UB? And I'd love to hear all you guys comment on this. See, I specifically picked Warlock to kind of avoid a lot of these complaints that you guys are raising here, in that like the classes do still have talents in weird places and can be dry for many levels, blah, blah, blah. I went Warlock because I was like, I know Warlock comes online early. I know they have a shitload of buttons to press and I have fun with that. But also, Epoch's change to Warlock of having Drain Soul be an execute, relatively small tweak, but a game changer in that it's just really fun to press when you're like, I know that when the mob is at 40% or 45% health, I send one Shadow Bolt and then instantly go into a Drain Soul and execute the fuck out of this thing, and it's great. But I know where you guys are coming from, and I hear it and think it seems like moving forward, maybe the dream, and don't get me wrong, we're going to end this talking about how much fun we're still having because I'm still having a blast. This is not like the day and night podcast between last week to this week, but what I'm hearing is maybe the dream server in terms of Classic Plus is combining this content, because everyone's loving this new content on Epoch. It's carrying the server. Bugs be damned, and there's a lot of bugs. The content is great. But people are like, if I could take just a couple of the abilities we got from SOD, because everyone loved the way the classes played in SOD. Now, they did go a bit too far in SOD, and Blizzard admits that. We went ballistic with the experimentation here. to see different play styles, different roles, shitloads of new abilities to see what you guys like and don't like. But it was very obvious that the players agreed that a couple more spells in the rotation in a classic environment was more than welcome. So do you think just taking half of that SOD ethos with class design expansion with the content of a server like Epoch is the dream server?
Yeah, we actually had a chat about it yesterday afternoon while you were dying from flu shots.
Yeah.
I think Sine was in here and stuff, and like he says that like looking at Epoch, he loves what they did with the world, but he just can't get around auto attacking mobs for 50 levels again.
And you were that guy, Yubi.
Beg pardon?
You were that guy as well. You said never again.
Yeah. I'm saying like Epoch have nailed Azeroth, but for me personally, I know some people love these classes. Like, I would have just liked them a little bit more. Like, you know, we keep referring to the vanilla to Wrath spectrum. I would have liked the Needle about another half of an expansion along that road in development. But in regards to just the quests, the professions, the dungeons, all this crap is so fucking nice. Just, you know, if you're leveling a mage, I think maybe it would be fun to living bomb the mob, cast Fireball, and I get a hot streak proc, and you use Fire Blast as always. Done 10 times more fun than what you're getting in this. And that's just how little it has to move up the road.
100%. And Shaman, I think of like enhanced Shaman, like there's a reason they gave them a strike ability early on to smooth out that leveling process of like, hey, shock and maybe not Storm Strike, but some kind of strike, you know, from level 1 or 6 or whatever that they get early, so they have buttons to press. Like there's numerous examples of this, of just like
you get them, you know, flame shock the mob, and you can only use this ability if it is flame shocked, and it's like their offhand lava lash or whatever the fuck that ability is. I don't know, Shaman. Like if you compare that to what they're doing in this or in vanilla, it's got to be more fun to just have that level of engagement mob to mob and something else on top. Like, yeah, it's just, I would, that would genuinely be now my utopia. Cause yeah, SOD did class development well. It got a bit too crazy in my opinion, but the world was lacking. And then these guys have nailed the world. We just need this server to fuck a SOD server, and whatever comes out the other side would be really interesting.
Yeah, give me like 70% of SOD class design with this world, and
Chef's
that would be
kiss.
pretty tight.
Yeah.
That would be
Oh
good.
God.
That'd
Stop
be
it. I'm
fucking
getting too
amazing.
excited just at the fucking concept.
Can I ask you guys genuinely, do you expect Blizzard to bring back from SOD in the next thing they're doing the expanded class roles in the world of rogue tanks, warlock tanks, blah, blah, blah? I personally do expect it, because I can't see them having done all that testing just to never use it again. What do you guys think?
I expect most of them to come back in some way.
I 100% think so.
Yeah, it would be really weird, wouldn't it, if they just tested that and then never use it again?
Yeah,
I
and
definitely see a warlock tank and shaman tank probably making a comeback. I don't know about mage healer or rogue tank. Those might have been a little more fringe.
yeah.
Please,
Plus,
Tim,
whatever
please,
class they're
Tim.
cooking up, I think it's going to be a tank too. So.
Tim, if you're listening, please, warlock healer, I'm fucking begging you.
Warlock healer?
Yeah, man, I'm into it. I'm into it. Give me the demonic guy that drains the life of one thing and passes it on to another.
I'm agreeing with Think Vestige that like rogue tank and mage healer kind of seemed like the gimmicky add-ons when they say like, oh well, SOD's the most extreme version of everything we're ever going to do. That is the 8 and 9 out of 10 crazy new development that they slapped in. And like if 60% of SOD will be kept, rogue tank and mage healer are in the 40 that won't be, in my opinion. And then like warlock tank will stay, shaman tank will stay. I do think that I don't know if we actually truly needed an extra healer class, really.
I think we do. For the healers out there, they want to try. You've got to appease the fans of the role, and like you can't just give tank fans new tanks and healer fans nothing.
Well, my assumption is that we would end up with Alliance Shamans and Horde Pallies. So even like the factions at least will have
No, it's
an
not.
extra
It's not the
healer role.
same. It's not the same. Healers want to play something new. They want to try and fuck around with something new. But like you said, Vestige. It's funny. I obviously I'm sort of say it half jokingly. I know they're never going to do Warlock Healer, but like it's just more a fucking fantasy for years of mine. But everyone always makes that same face that you just made, Vestige, whenever I bring it up because they go, Warlock Healer. What the fuck? How does that work? And I'm like, how does it not work? It's literally lore-wise the class that already heals himself via draining the life of other mobs. What would it
I guess
matter?
I could see it where like
Yeah.
you're stealing life from mobs and infusing it into your teammates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
So
works.
I
but
guess I
thought-
could kind of see that, but that's a little outside the box.
I think for me that's like the safe.
But a mage isn't.
that's
I
the
thought
that's the what
I thought
Yubi?
that would have been the assumption. Like it makes
Yeah.
more sense
Yeah.
that the Warlock will be but the same ethos as the Mage Healer. They'll be attacking the boss as like an Affliction heal spec, where you're taking the boss's health and redistributing it to your allies. How in the fuck does an Arcane Mage do that? That makes no sense to me at all. The whole Arcane
I never.
Mage
Thank
healing
you.
philosophy.
Thank
That
you.
was
Someone
that's more of a stretch.
thinking.
I think
with-
the
think they're all
class
trying to
is
give-
full of trade-offs, and I think if you to get healed by the Warlock, there's no free lunches when it comes to Warlock stuff, so there'd have to be pretty cool lore-specific type trade-offs. Dark bargains being struck. It'd be
Oh,
pretty
mate,
fun.
I could write some fucking cool stuff. Don't worry about that. I can justify it all. All right, look, boys. We will start to wind it up. Well, we have been winding it up. I'll ask the last question. I mean, the old "Are we having fun yet?" But are you still having fun? How was week 2? Did you have a blast?
Solid.
Definitely
Solid?
still having fun. Experiencing all the new content is definitely the best part, and also playing a brand new class for me is definitely helping with that.
Yeah. I loved the 2.5 levels I spent in Desolus were a fucking ball. I really enjoyed it. Everything is so much more smoothed out. The guild is so fun. Everyone's great. As I said, the new content is the real MVP. And it's, Yubi, were the rumors true? Can you confirm once you get past those 30s, you'll really start to see it ramp up more?
As in like the time sync.
As in the new content.
Oh, yeah. Like, what, Tanaris has 2 new zones, 2 new towns, Feralus has a new camp for us. Yeah, there's heaps. And even, I was going to just say again, it's shocking how fun it is that, for example, we've just gone back to, the Horde camp in Feralus, and you've handed in a quest, and I know in Classic, that's it. Like, that's the last time you engage with this NPC. You hand that quest in, he has 2 more quests now. And you go, all right, fucking cool. And it's to a place that you've never cleared before, but was already in the zone. And it's just, I don't think you can express it that it's actually pretty fucking fun, just having those interactions over and over and over. And it's just a new quest. It's not they haven't moved the moon. It's just 2 new quests to go kill some fucking bugs.
And there is
in a place that exists.
It's a good mixture of these new quests of like we've said in voice chat over the last week, using mobs that were previously untouched or useless in a zone where like I had no reason to kill this mob before, but now they drop something for this new quest and I need to go get them. That's great. Or there's a lot of simply just, you are going to this little area anyway, pick up this thing as well while you're there. And there's a great example in Desolus, in like the Kodo graveyard, where it's like, I was normally here picking up this one thing, but here's a new quest just says, hey, while you're there, if you spot this other thing along the way too, grab it as well.
Yeah. It's
and those definitely help increase the XP and get rid of that old 1x feeling.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
You definitely do not run out of quests.
Oh,
when
I
you start
can't.
getting
I'm
towards
at the point now where
middle
I'm abandoning quests all the time.
Yeah.
I like the quests that take me to places I just don't go to. There's so many places on the map that I don't think I've ever been here as long as I played this freaking game. I've ever been in this area because I never had a reason to go to this area. There was nothing ever for me to do here, and it's sending me there, which is kind of cool.
Yep, and Yak pointing out again the shared quest items improving all the quality of all these quests as well. Once again,
it really
can't
is.
forget it.
I've grouped up more in 2 weeks on Epoch than I have in my fucking life in WoW leveling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the not having the fear of having to deal with it is super awesome.
And level 44 is the halfway point on the XP curve to 60, and it's just like, yep, there's no signs of the XP slowing down as you get up the curve.
Yubi, no spoilers, but you've been posting some items with spoiler tags in the Discord, some new dungeon drops and things that you've been noticing. They feel like they fit.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, whether it was, I think it was Zoran or Sine, one of our Scandinavians, in a long lost pod episode from way back. And they were saying that they just want more flavor items in the game. And they've added a whole bunch that are just like, it's not overpowered, it's just cool, like how it functions.
And it's
some
not
of them
just
have a use
fucking
and-
plus 10 stam, plus 15 int. It's like flavor.
Yeah,
Flavor.
yeah. Like, I don't know, I feel like I could tell the wand. Like the wand simple in the new dungeon.
I want that one.
The neck that someone posted on the subreddit or in the Discord was really interesting.
Yeah, there seems to potentially be epics but not like level 20, level 40 and stuff from bosses, but it's kind of the sweet bliss of not having Wowhead and 44 articles about data mining.
Yeah.
No clue if it's like a 1% drop or if it's a 10% drop or if it even actually exists. I don't have a database to go check. So, but yeah, there's epics dropping from level 40 in particular dungeons. So
Now he's just woken up, so we're going to spend the last 5 minutes of this podcast just fucking berating what the cat just dragged in. Hello, Hunk.
Where was my invite?
I DM'd you 2 hours ago and said, get the fuck out of there.
Lies, complete lies.
I was wondering if I could make one more point.
Go for it, Mike, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as much as we've complained before about the dual spec and where the talents are on the talent tree and everything like that, I'm still having a really fun time on this server, and it is great.
Oh, that's the message I'm trying to send. Sorry, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just for me if they reduce the cost of dual spec and did some just move these key abilities up the talent tree. This server would go from great to I'd be screaming it to the heavens for every single person I know to play this server.
Very well said, mate. Very true. Very true.
it is a slightly buggy still. I'm finding more and more quests that are clapped out. It's almost like they fixed from the front to the back.
Yep.
We've got a bunch of collect quests and it's just not respawning anywhere near quick enough. I'm talking, we've run past this place to get parts, engineering parts, and we haven't seen a single one in 8 hours, but people swear that they appear just once every hour. You need to get 8 of them.
It just becomes a question. This server is kind of a test of tolerance because it just becomes a question of how much shit angers you or bothers you as you encounter it. Because this server, as you say, Yubi, we've worked out more with 1 week's more playtime. People are right to say it's buggy as fuck. There's bugs everywhere. But I'll always say, I sort of, mentioned this earlier, again, the community voted to get this thing out now and not have them fix all the bugs. We said, get it out, beat T-Wow. Oh my God, we've got to get it out there. I have to play something because I'm a fucking junkie. And then there were bugs and people went full Pikachu face. I see these bugs and I've encountered 3 or 4 quests that don't work. And I'm level 37. And I might find more later on, like Yubi is saying. But look, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the fucking weirdo. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't get... I don't have a fell hunter and I'm a warlock. I don't give a shit. I think it's funny. I move on, whatever. They'll fix that. So what? I'll go do some other quests. I just don't give a fuck. And people get really, really angry, in YouTube videos and whatnot. And Reddit comments, all the T-Wow people obviously really trying to hammer it home of and the tribalism is fucking ridiculous. If you like T-Wow, I'm so happy for you. T-Wow's great. Go have fun with that. I'm not playing it. Get over it. Go enjoy both servers. Literally no one cares. But if T-Wow players do want to sort of point to Epoch and go, oh, look how buggy it is. Mate, fucking T-Wow wasn't a picture of perfection when it came out, was it?
Yeah.
They're breaking out their
I know,
orange
there was
belt
like
judo
12
on
people
you,
playing when it
Josh.
came out.
Yeah. So
They
I just don't care.
They are hustling to fix. It was pretty funny in game earlier. I don't know if you've been online, Josh. It popped up in the server text saying server restart in 2 minutes. Hundreds of hot fixes coming, and then literally 5 seconds later, it popped back up going restart cancelled. It's as if the fucking what's his name? The main guy. I'm having a mental blank.
Dutch.
It's like Dutch had his finger above the green button, and then one of the guys in the back room's gone, no, critical mistake, don't launch. It's going to blow everything up.
Right.
So they cancelled
Well,
their
did
own
you see the
restart.
thing about the human banners that was the problem for a bit?
Yeah, the human banners
Yeah.
were spawning rocks that were impassable or
Yeah.
some crap.
Impossible rocks. So all over Stormwind and Ironforge, people were using their banners to block off everything. Auction house, bank, and everything
Oh, but
were
like,
blocked off by rocks.
some of the guys have been going nuts about like, oh, the server's always down when it's my time to play, and it's like, guys, the server goes down for 30 seconds. It's okay.
Yeah, the amount of times I've tried to like jokingly go to the Discord and type out like, fucking having a whinge.
Yeah.
The server's back up before I finished my message.
Exactly.
I have to just log back on and play.
But anyway, gentlemen, let's all of us in the room now turn and focus our attention to Senior Hunk. Hunk,
piece of shit.
Hunk, that piece of shit. Hunk, how are you? Hunk?
He's gone back to sleep.
No,
He's
he
gone.
can't. He's not allowed to go back to sleep. Hunk?
Sorry. I'm here.
Hello,
I'm doing well,
sweetheart.
thank you.
Would you like to tell us how your life has been lately?
Oh, it's been a wild ride. There's been some ups, there's been some downs. There's been some ins and outs. Some throughs.
Very good.
Yeah.
And
Is this just the sex life or
Some
what?
all around.
We covered all the directions.
And that's just Voodoo and me on a Friday night at Biang Biang.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Biang Biang. When are we doing Biang Biang?
When are
Good,
we
it's a
going to
good
Yang Yang? Yeah. Mate, now look, I've always impressed upon you that I don't want you to fold to peer pressure. But you have inspected the server a little bit, but we don't expect you to give us any great devotion of time or anything. But it's been fun seeing you dive in and get in voice chat with the guys.
It's been good. Like, I've only really played like a couple of hours, really. But I've been impressed so far, just with the early zones. I like all like the map changes. I think it's if you're looking for something to play, it's there's no reason not to jump in.